What is up, super fam and Brovengers alike? I am Sensei Finito, aka Bane Sensei, and welcome to Marvel Bros, where we discuss all things Marvel and everything pop culture. And today we are continuing our From Watcher to Reader series, continuing with Season 2, Episode 2. You already know what we're about to do. We're going over Chapters 6 through 9 for The Wheel of Time, Book 2, The Great Hunt. I got a lot of things to say about this chapter, yo. I got a lot of things to say. I actually did all of my stuff through my iPad this time. So by using my Apple Pencil as well as some other things, I was actually able to like take notes and highlight stuff, and I just was I just love it. It's almost like it's like going to school kind of. Like I'm taking notes and I'm trying to pay attention to what's happening here and there. It's been a really fun vibe. It's been a really good time, and I'm happy to get into it today, and I hope you guys are too. If you haven't already, you guys already know the deal. Make sure you follow us on social media at Marvel Bros to stay up to date with all things Marvel and everything pop culture. That is right. We got the TikTok popping. We got almost all the platforms that there are. We're on them, like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We're on pretty much every social media platform that there is. So type us in that bar and just check us out wherever you at. You can also check us out. Whoa! Before we move on to that, I meant to say we are also live on every platform right now. I believe I'm also gonna try to go live and make a Twitter space for this as well, because I know we're live on Instagram, we're live on Facebook, we're live on Twitch, YouTube, and I want to also be able to do something for Twitter here as well. So let me just get all of my chats up and synced. Pop out that chat. Okay. I'm trying to get everything synced in. I think I almost got it here. So just give me one quick moment. Okay. Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Facebook. Here we go. And then we'll put that in this lower corner. All right. And then we got to get that chat so we can make sure all of these chats are synced up to what we have going on here. Let's pop that out. Did I already pop that out? Yeah, I popped that one out. That's out. All right, everything should be connected in everything should be connected now. So no matter what platform you're on, except for Instagram, if you guys are paying attention, I read chat at the same time I said that. If you guys are talking in chat, we should be able to showcase or feature that comment live for everybody to be able to see, no matter where you are. So I'm pretty excited about that little feature that we got going on there. We got the screen mirroring, screen mirroring going on to my iPad, so that way I can show you a little bit of here and there as well. So I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped. I think we're gonna have. I think all of these watch parties just got a whole lot better. A whole lot better, to be completely honest with you. Um, so let's get into it. Let me know how you guys are doing today. Let me know how everything is looking, and how everything is running. Okay. You can also follow me on social media at Sensei Finito to stay up to date with all my thoughts, theories, and opinions on whatever particular thing I may be partaking in at that particular time. You already know. And of course, you can check out that weekly podcast wherever you check out podcasts at. We're Marvel Bros on every single platform again, so you can check it out. Check us out, see what's happening there. We might have something for you. You never know. You never know. You got to check it out to find out, okay? You got to check it out to find out. I am so pumped to be getting into episode 2 of our From Watcher to Reader series that we've been doing. It's been so much. It's just been so much fun these last couple of like months, weeks that we've been doing this. From season 1 was amazing, and now we're in season 2. It's been 3 weeks now. This is our third week already of doing this, and it's fantastic. You know, it's really fun. I'm having just a lovely time getting into this reading, getting into book two, and really being able to experience it all really for the first time because it is completely different from what I expected it to be. Just to be honest with you, man, I didn't know what we were in for or what I was in for, I should say. But holy, they are doing the Lord's work with this. It's kind of insane. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you guys don't know how our from watcher to reader format is set up, let me tell you how it is right now. Okay. Wait, that's the wrong thing. Here we go. Bam. We start with chat talk, of course, where we just talk to chat, shoot the breeze a little bit. Then I go into my overall thoughts of the reading that we had, this segment of reading, and then we go into chat talk again a little bit. After that, we do that chapter by chapter overview, review, and discussion. And then at the end, we do that book to show comparison. Okay, so I am really I'm really here for all of the stuff and all of the things. So I'm ready to get into it today. Let's get into chat, see how you guys are doing. You know I talk back at y'all. Oh, how's everybody doing today? Um oh wait, I don't think I can. That's one thing I'm not the biggest fan of about the new setup is I kind of lose messages if they go up like a certain way. Like let's see. Evening. I'm not able to show that message yet. Evening. I see you, KP. What's going on? Let me see my chat a little bit better. Everything is tweaking just a little bit. No, I didn't mean to pin that. What's happening? Unpin. Wow, there we go. Yeah, excellent set of chapters to discuss tonight. I agree completely. I almost wish we could have gotten him to read to chapter 11. Oh, no, 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 no. I think that would have been too much. I'm not going to lie, KP. I'm going to go into that as well, but I feel like I feel like this was perfect. Like, I feel like this was a perfect amount to read for real. I really do. I thought about it, but the page could count would have been a lot more than last week. Yeah. And the reading this week it was a lot. It was a lot of reading. Like there was one less chapter, but it was still damn near the same amount of time it felt. You know what I mean? Because each chapter was so long. So yeah, I am pleased with the reading that we got up until this point. All right. Okay. Hello to both of you guys. I hope you all are doing good. Sorry I couldn't put those comments up on here. I gotta figure out how to fix that on my end. Oh wait, here we go. Here we go. Boom. But I guess 9 put a nice bow on Faldara. Exactly. If you wanted to put input in character stopping points, KP chan. Oh yeah, yeah, that's true. That's definitely a fact. I haven't sat down to actually think about it, so I'm more than positive you took the time to make appropriate stopping points. Oh yeah, facts. Marisu has been doing the damn thing. I think we still need the second portion of the reading, but I know we have the first half of it up until week 5. So the last chapter, like we still need chapter 20 on so chapter 20 to 50. We still need those segments. So uh we're getting closer and closer to it. So I just don't want it to sneak up on y'all and then it just be, here and it's like, "Oh shit, we ain't got the reading yet." But y'all got 2 weeks, I guess, to get the rest of it get the rest of it out for your boy so I can set it all up in here. Our time reading will feel like a flick in time sooner than we think. I wonder if Sensei's still reading. No. Making sure his mic is on properly this time. Wow. Yeah. Okay. All right. Y'all got the jokes. Uh. That was interesting. I am streaming to a lot of stuff right now. So if my stuff starts tweaking, let me know so I can try to fix it. And then let's go ahead and start that. We'll start the Twitter space once I actually get into talking about the book and the reading and everything. It's totally going. It's totally like going to school. Reading this series made me better at school. Yo, that's hilarious. Not so much for me. Was more likely seeing me reading the books in school. Yeah, I feel that. Not paying attention in class, head in the books, but not your head in the books. I feel that. I encourage you to take flashcards for groups of important names like Aes Sedai. There are over 2,700 named characters in the whole series. Yo, I definitely felt that in this chapter of reading, and I'm going to talk about that as well. The set looks immaculate on my end. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. YouTube shat the bed the other day. They must be experimenting with things. They are experimenting with things. They have the YouTube Shorts tab that I was streaming to that the other day. I'm probably gonna start streaming to it more often. To be honest with you, I think it works really well. I'm gonna be experimenting with that. I'm kind of nervous to do it with these, like with the From Watcher to Reader series, just because I feel like the majority of people that watch will be used to it being in the 1920 by 1080 ratio, you know, that 1280 by 720, basically horizontal. They like most people are used to watching things horizontally. So I don't want to switch it up too much for this or like the watch parties and stuff like that just yet. I'm probably start experimenting with that a little bit later to see how it works, but we'll see. I'll do the rest of the chapters tonight. I know roughly what I would want now. Oh, okay. Bet. Okay, we good then. Okay. I think that's a good point to get into my how I feel about this. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let me take that out real quick. Do I have a lot of stuff going on? I might. It's okay. All right. Let's start that Twitter space. Start that now. Let's unmute me. I got it. Okay, got the Twitter space going. Got the Twitch going. I think Twitch is the one that starts making things so iffy. Thank you so much. I don't think Instagram does, and I don't think Facebook does. I feel like it's Twitch that starts making stuff trippy. But I am doing the multi-stream thing, so that's probably why. All right. Let's get into my overall thoughts of this portion of reading, chapters 6-9 of The Great Hunt. Okay? Man, I had a amazing time with this portion. Last week you guys kind of let me know, like you guys let me know for sure what was going to be going on within this portion. Like, hey, we're gonna be getting straight into it. It's about to get action packed. We're about to get into it, like no lie. So, bruh, like I am so excited. I'm so excited to talk about this portion because it was awesome. I think this definitely threw everything at me at one time. Everything was thrown in your face. You know what I mean? Like it's just like foam, 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 foam. Get ready to rumble. Like that's how it was from start to finish for this episode, but for this portion. Until the ninth chapter 9, and except that one, like chapter 6-8 were freaking just boom, 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 and I was here for it. I was here for everything that was happening. I couldn't believe it, and of course, you guys know that we're gonna talk about the book to show comparisons at the end. But you know, my brain was like super overloaded with that. I saw a lot of you guys in the comments that had came back and did the rewatch or the is that what it's called? Watched it offline, I guess. when you got and you some of you guys were saying like, yo, get ready, like it's gonna be crazy. And a lot of you guys were saying that damn, I just lost my whole train of thought. My bad. But, it was just basically get ready for it. And I was ready. I was ready, but I wasn't ready. They went super hard in these chapters. It was like they set up all the things that we need to know. And it was pretty insane going as hard as they did. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it, especially off of how the book started with like, chapter 1 through 5. And then going into 6 to set, like, it was a really good flow of going from 6 to 7 to 8 to 9. And I love how we've been having these portions segmented. So big shout out to Mari Sue, because I loved this portion for so many reasons. Chapter 9 was so long, it felt like, but it was mainly because we had so many different POVs in one chapter. I mean, in this segment we had at least 4 to 5 POVs, if I'm not mistaken. Or if not, a 4 to 5 POVs, we switched POVs 4 to 5 times. You know what I mean? But out of those switches, we kind of went back to Moiraine, went back to Rand. So I think there was like 3 point of views: Rand, Moiraine, and then Captain Doman at the end. And we kind of just switched back through those POVs a lot. I think those were the only ones. Oh, and Nynaeve. Excuse me, I forgot about Nynaeve's point of view. Right? So we have 4 point of views, and we're kind of switching back and forth pretty rapidly. Not rapidly, but it's rapidly because it's all in one chapter, in my opinion. So when we're like switching these POVs, it's like, oh shit, like I felt like I needed a break when we were like, when we went from Rand to Moiraine, back to Rand to Nynaeve, back to Moiraine, and then to Captain Doman. I was like, whoa, okay, I might need a little breather after this one. And then we did get that breather, because it was like, okay, the chapter 9 ends, and then now we get to kind of continue on from here. And that felt nice. That felt awesome. I was really here for that. I loved this portion. It's probably been kind of my favorite portion of the reading that we've had so far, just because it had all the things that I was looking for. It had the action. It had a lot of that lore, a lot of that story building, a lot of foretelling and foreshadowing of what's going to be going on in the future, paying off a lot of the things that were setting up in the first book. Like, we did a lot within these chapters while also continuing to uh basically water these other subplots that were going on at the same time. So the Wheel of Time. The Wheel of Time, Eye of the World, was a solid book. Like, that was a great book. And going into the Great Hunt, it just makes me even more. I'm just even more consumed by it, for real. I can't even pretend. It has been magical. Like, it was magical. Especially being able to see all these characters in a different light than what we've seen them from in the books. Excuse me, in the show. We're able to experience these characters. Um, I don't want to say a lot more. We're able to experience these characters more thoroughly when we are doing it through the POVs of the book and seeing all this stuff kind of happen. And I love it. Like, like, it's fire. Like, it's fire. I love seeing all the different POVs because it blends the story together more, right? And at the same time, it's just that it was kind of a lot. I think chapter 9 really gets you ready for the rest of the book. Like, this portion of the reading gets you ready for the rest of the book more than the first half did, in my opinion. Like, chapter 1 through 5 was solid. It was kind of the end of what we already knew from the Eye of the World, right? It's like, okay, here's these last couple of things that you need your answers to from coming out of the last book before we move into the new things that are going to be happening. Kind of also giving us a refresher of all the things that have been going on in the Eye of the World to now. And now going into the Great Hunt, 5 to 9 did a fantastic job of being like, okay, we're gonna hear a lot of names, you're gonna hear a lot of places, and you're not gonna have to remember every single one of them until you need to remember every single one of them, right? Like, on the first go through, it's like, don't try to remember every single name, but just make a note of the names, so when it comes up again, you can be like, Is that the same name from like 30 pages ago that we just saw mentioned slightly? And that is just awesome because it makes you want to dive deeper. It makes you want to hunt and find out what's kind of going on and how you can connect these different things. And I'm ready to, get into it even more because as I said, the connective tissue is going crazy in the story already, and it's we're very early in it, right? So just imagine how much they're going to ramp it up or dial it up even more as we continue to navigate through the Great Hunt. So that's kind of I guess those are kind of my overall thoughts because I do want to get into it more, especially since I took my notes and stuff. Or and highlighted my things that I wanted to talk about and did all the stuff that I was doing. So I just kind of want to get into it a little bit more, but I also want to know if everybody else is excited and what your overall thoughts were of this portion the first time you read it, and if you're doing the reread with us, let me know how it was this time around. I'm willing to bet this is your favorite section so far. Yeah, you're pretty. You hit the nail on the head that way. I was audibly gasping and shit like going through this one. Like when I was reading it, I was like, "No way! What? Oh my god! Like where did they come from?" Like I was like, "Bro, what?" I was really into it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I was really into it. So, um, yeah, I'm really gonna have to get like a little Patreon or something going so I'm able to really react and listen to the stuff and read it and do all the stuff that I do when I am taking my notes and stuff, but record it and then put it out for people to be able to watch that because I know people want to because that's what y'all been saying since the first, you know what I mean, since season one of From Watcher to Reader. So let's get it on. Let's get it on, right? Uh Let's get it on. Let's get it on. But before we do get it on, don't forget, y'all. Y'all already know what to do. Go and get your snacks. Go and get you something to eat. Go and get you something to drink. A little something to sip on because we're about to be having a good time right now. I know, Marisu, you got your tea. What type of tea is you drinking tonight? I might need me a little coffee, in a little second here. But let me know what y'all sipping on out here in these streets. Okie dokie. You can tell how important this section was because of how much of this section was adapted and put into the show. Facts. Yes, that is a super good point, and that's a point that I had meant to talk about as well. In my well, I guess we're technically still in the overall thoughts, but that's what I wanted to say as well. Is they did do a crazy good job of adapting the things that were happening in this section in multiple ways and giving it to us. Wow, pause. And being able to portray it to us in uh some different ways, and instead of having to hear it secondhand or third hand or fourth hand, we're actually seeing the events happening. It like we're there. We get to see that POV. Oh, and that's something that I thought was dope. Reading the moments that I actually saw, but I'm hearing about the moments, you know what I mean, as a story in the book, but I actually was like there for it in the show. Like that was awesome. That was awesome for multiple points, right? I love stuff like that. That is like one of the main reasons I think uh adaptations can be so good is because you're able to do things like that where conversation is actually a whole it plays out. It is a scene. So I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped. I'm pumped. Still miss us missing how the hunt, but still miss us missing how the hunt started. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I agree, bro. I agree. I definitely miss. Yeah, we don't know what's going on. We just know about the Great Hunt. But that's also a note that I took in my book. This is where the multi POV writing really starts to take off. Damen and Fane, and we haven't even gotten Egwene yet. Yeah, I can only imagine how much we're gonna be seeing a whole bunch more POVs, especially because of how this prologue was. The prologue of this gave us a POV of a character that made it feel like every time we get a new POV, it makes them feel like the main character a little bit more. Yeah, yeah, definitely not 90% Rand anymore. I love this section. It's still gasoline. I agree. I've thought about reacting to certain special chapters, but in a way that kind of spoils things because it tells you something big is going to happen. I can't figure out a good way to plan reactions. Yeah, I understand that. I understand that for sure. And that's really why I want to do the whole, you know what I mean? Do the whole Patreon thing to where we're able to get the whole video there, and then I can edit it down and then put certain parts out on the regular YouTube channel for people to be able to watch. It's just the sake of really getting it off the floor. And I'm still not sure how you do that. Like, I'm not sure how people are doing full-blown watch parties and watching content and not, turning it off or turning it on when they have a Patreon. Because don't you still have to like stream through YouTube to do that? Like, you know what I mean? So that's where I'm a little confused at, or at least where I'm trying to get my bearings at. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what's popping though. But I know I can do that through like Discord as well. So my Discord might be the place to be. A certain chapter in book 4 immediately comes to mind for me. Oh, 2 chapters, honestly, we might react to those regardless. Facts. Facts. That's what I'm saying. I definitely want to react to some stuff. So so that will be the end of our what's it called? What is this? My bad. Of our chat talk, or of our overall thoughts and chat talk, right? Where I am pumped to get into the play by play, the chapter by chapter. For real, for real. The audiobooks are over 30 hours. That's a lot of footage. Hey, I mean, if you think about it, we're kind of doing something like that anyway. It'll just be like, but that's another reason why it's Patreon. You feel me? Like, it'll be worth it in the end if that's the way we go through with it. But yeah, yo, we're gonna get into our chapter by chapter review and discussion. But before we do, you should already know what to do.
Hi, my name is Dominique Pruitt, and I started Don's Bomb Gourmet Popcorn LLC in the summer of 2021 to introduce delicious and unique flavored popcorn not found anywhere else in the world. Why, you ask? Because I make it in my home with love, just for you. We offer over 10 flavors and are continuously creating new flavors that can be customized to any color or taste for your next event, party, or fundraiser. So go find yourself to our website and find a bombastic flavor of popcorn at donsbombgourmetpopcorn.com, or you can also follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Don's Bomb Gourmet Popcorn.
That is right. Make sure you go and get you some Dom's Bomb Gourmet Popcorn. What a popcorn is always bomb and gourmet. And of course, it's made by Dom. All right, let's get into the chapter by chapter. Starting off with none other. Wait. Hold on. Let's get this cracking down. Where's my headset? Oh, that's what it is. Let's turn that off. Okay. My bad. I ain't even know. Jesus, so much stuff is open right now. Starting off with
Chapter 6 Dark Prophecy.
Yo, okay. I love me some goddamn dream sequences, yo. I don't know what it is about them, but I just love them. I love how jarring they are and how much you just get taken out of everything and how it's like, what the hell is going on? And it becomes almost like an uncanny event. It's like a fever dream. And I think that's what I love about it the most is it becomes a freaking fever dream. I don't know why I love that the most, but that's the thing that stands out for me is that oh my goodness, that it's 100% like, hey, whoa, what's going on here? What are we doing? Oh yeah, that's right. this is what we're doing. Yo, wait, where's my chat? Oh my gosh, my bad, y'all. So much stuff is happening right now. Here it is. Boom. All right. You know, it's like, yo, so many things are happening. I don't know what these things are that are occurring, but I'm here for them, right? I am here for whatever it is that's going on. And that's how it was for me going into this chapter for sure. I believe, do we stop? Yeah. You already know. We started with the dream sequence, so let's get into it. Let's get into the sequence of dreams, right? Let's get in. Oh my gosh, I have so many things open. There we go.
The farmhouse door shook under furious blows from outside. The heavy bar across the door jumped in its brackets. Beyond the window next to the door moved the heavy muzzled silhouette of a trolloc. There were windows everywhere, and more shadowy shapes outside. Not shadowy enough, though. Rand could still make them out. The windows, he thought desperately. He backed away from the door, clutching his sword before him in both hands. Even if the door holds, they can break in the windows. Why aren't they trying the windows? With a deafening metallic screech, one of the brackets pulled partly away from the doorframe, hanging loose on nails ripped a finger's width out of the wood. The bar quivered from another blow, and the nails squealed again. "We have to stop them!" Rand shouted. "Only we can't. We can't stop them." He looked around for a way to run, but there was only the one door. The room was a box. Only one door, and so many windows. "We have to do something! Something!" "It's too late," Matt said. "Don't you understand?" His grin looked odd on a bloodless, pale face, and the hilt of a dagger stood out from his chest, the ruby that capped it blazing as if it held fire. The gem had more life than his face. "It's too late for us to change anything." "I've finally gotten rid of them," Perrin said, laughing. Blood streamed down his face like a flood of tears from his empty sockets. He held out red hands, trying to make Rand look at what he held. "I'm free now. It's over." "It's never over, Elthor," Padan Fain cried, capering in the middle of the floor. "The battle's never done." The door exploded in splinters, and Rand ducked away from the flying shards of wood. Two red-clad Aes Sedai stepped through, bowing their master in. A mask the colour of dried blood covered Baalzamon's face, but Rand could see the flames of his eyes through the eye slits. He could hear the roaring fires of Baalzamon's mouth. "It is not yet done between us, Elthor," Baalzamon said, and he and Fain spoke together as one. "For you, the battle is never done."
Yo, I can't begin to explain the hype I felt going straight into it like this, man. Like, it just allows us to be so involved in what's happening. We are so involved in this dream. It's like, how do you not how are you not terrified by that if you dream something like this going on? You know, you're going to have your heart rate going up. You're going to wake up in a pool of sweat, maybe some other bodily fluids that are going on because of fear. Who knows? Who knows what could happen? Who knows? And I could not at first I was like, two red clad Aes Sedai. What does that mean? Like, bro, everything just holds you. And for me, it's like, are these just dreams, or are they obvious visions for what's going to happen in the future? Or is it just, our boy Baalzamon being a menace as always? There are so many different opportunities. There are so many different outcomes that can come from this, and you can't help but understand Rand start going to, start to lose his mind just a little bit. Just a wee tad. I just going into this first chapter of this portion, right? Because it's not the first chapter, but it's the sixth chapter, but it's the first chapter of this reading, right? And going into it, I did not know what to expect outside of you guys telling me, hey, this is about to be heat, right? This is about to be insane. You need to get ready for it. I thought I was ready. I wasn't. I wasn't ready. For even though it's a dream sequence, the thing that I like about dream sequences is that they can still be brutal, they can still have a heavy effect on the character, but you don't have to necessarily worry about actually killing off certain characters or doing these other things, but you're still able to build that tension, build that fear within the other characters, within your main character or whatever character is having the dream or whatever's going on. You're able to build all of this other stings on top of it through these dreams that these characters are having, and it's freaking fire. Rand is already losing it. He's already losing it. He's been losing it for a while now. So this is kind of the icing on the cake for the little guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just trying to do his best out here. But Red Cloud Aes Sedai was just fire. And he's like, yo, Light, help me. He's trying to like figure out what's going on. And then uh we see that we're gonna be going through this. I'm not gonna spend time on every little minute detail, but I am going to spend time on some of the minute details. I'm just gonna be honest with you now. But you know what I mean? He's like, when he's in the women's quarters, because all the stuff that was happening, he's like talking to Nynaeve, and he's like, no one turns your bed over in the men's quarters. And she just looks at him like what? Like, and I just like that. I thought that was really funny as well. Oh, and then we see that everyone has been looking for Rand, right? Everyone. It's not just like some of the Aes Sedai. Everyone down to Lady Amalisa herself said that Nynaeve said that she saw her coming out of the storeroom near the buttery with her face covered in dust. Like, what? Like, even the Lady Amalisa herself is looking for this man. Like, he needs to go and run and hide somewhere immediately. And then Rand just doesn't understand it. He's like, why would she be a part of the search? And she's like, you're a woolhead. I love the woolhead. I love all the terminology. You know what I mean? She's like, the men I saw didn't know what the women were doing. I know it makes no sense that they were looking for you. That's the point. It seemed that none of the Aes Sedai seemed to be taking interest, but if Amalisa herself is in there, we know that they're up to something. You know what I mean? Every woman in this vicinity is looking for you, bro. You need to be able, you need to you need to be careful. Ooh, thank you kindly. Like, she's like, yo, the men I saw didn't know what the women were doing. Like, the dudes, I love that the men are always almost aimlessly kind of doing things, but not really. They're not aimlessly doing anything. The women are straight up just keeping all of these little secrets and doing all these other little things that are making the men not even be able to understand what's going on. They can't even they're not even up on game. Um and something else that stood out to me was that Rand basically looked at Nynaeve and was like, wait a minute, she's kind of pretty. Like, hold on. It said for the first time he realized that Nynaeve was not wearing the Two Rivers woolens he was used to. Her dress was pale blue silk embroidered in snowdrop blossoms around the neck and down the sleeves. He was like, he had never seen her in anything like that. Even on feast day, she wasn't looking this good. That's what he was saying. I was just like, yo, that I like that he's making notice of that for her, because she even knows that it's different for her, right? So he's like, it's very pretty on you, Nynaeve. You looking pretty tonight. Like, yo, like, it's just something that we know that wouldn't happen. And it's cool to see the character grow in that way so much. I just love that. I just love that, yo. uh oh, and of course they continue their conversation, and Nynaeve is kind of just talking about Nynaeve is just kind of talking about what's going on, and she's like, I don't think she believes the wheel is finished with you. The Dark One seems, and he's like, Shaitan is dead. Like, yo, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And immediately the room seemed to lurch, it says, and he grabbed his head as waves of dizziness sloshed through him. Like, bro immediately got zeroed in on because of that. Like, why would you even? I didn't know if they were really saying the Dark One and Baalzamon just because, like, they didn't want to be seen, or, like, or whatever. But this shows you, like, no, man, you speak that name, some shit's about to go down. And shit indeed did start going down immediately. You fool, pure blind, idiotic fool. Like, she just starts going off on him. Like, she just starts going off on him, rightfully so. He's like, I wasn't. He's like, the Baalzamon's dead. He's dead if you want. Blah, 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 blah. And she's like, I wasn't watching you when the Dark One's eyes fell on you just now. That's another part that I didn't know was a thing. Was the ability for like other people to know, like, hey, yo, like, like she saw him crumble, basically, And I didn't know that. I guess I did know that was possible, but in that way, it just brings so much more to it. And then immediately after that, he was like, wait, it's not for me? Bells are going off. Like, bro, well, look at what you did. Like, look at what you did. Like, look at what you did, bro. Like, you freaking idiot. Like, what did you do? Immediately, bro. Like, immediately he slipped. Oh, man. And then Rand just, again, is going on a path of not thinking at all. And Nynaeve's like, yo, this entire dorm, basically, is for women. You can't just go running throughout the halls, my guy. Like, there's going to be Aes Sedai everywhere. And man basically says, I care not. I care not. He books it through the hallways, and immediately Aes Sedai are there looking at him. I'm like, bro, you really, like, you make really bad choices, Rand, but I understand, right? Heat of the moment, you want to save your girl, you're trying to do the best that you can. And then he pulls up to none other than the Amberlin seat, staring at him dead in his face. And I was like, oh, I thought he was about to get attacked by everybody. I really did. I was surprised that he just continued to flee throughout the halls. I thought they were going to try and stop him 100%. But man was just like, I'm out of here. And then all of a sudden, like, and again, I love the way that the terminology and that the words are always written before we lead up to a big fight, right? There was enough turmoil around him out in the keep, men running for the courtyards with swords in hand, never looking at him. Over the clamor of alarm bells, he could just make out other noises now. Shouts, screams, metal ringing on metal. He had just time to realize they were the sounds of battle. Fighting? Inside Faldara, when 3 Trollocs came dashing around a corner in front of him. Like, like, bro, I love it. I love it. I love it. The thing that, bruh. Like, yes. Like, yes. We are rocking, bro. We are rocking. And then he's like, okay, I'm here, I'm ready to get it popping, and then, but he's not ready, right? He knew something was happening, but he didn't know. You know what I mean? Rand was like me. Like, I knew going into this chapter it was gonna get lit, but I had no idea how lit it would be. Rand knew that it was about to get lit, but he had no idea how lit it was about to be. Immediately he is caught by surprise, and he is not even doing his he's not even doing the forms right, the sword forms. He did the forms so badly Lan would have stalked off in disgust. Even in this moment of battle and heat, he's thinking about his master that has taught him how to use this blade and do these different fighting styles, just showing you how much man's mind is constantly moving and how much stuff he is constantly thinking of. The Madral gave its sword an extra twist as it pulled the blade free of the man's body. Like, the way, like, we are in here, that, like, what I started doing, like, I started wanting to highlight so many different things that I had to start color coordinating how things are. So all of the red stuff is when it's like a battle sequence of some kind that I want to be, like, that I want to talk about or be like, oh yeah, this was lit or something, you know what I mean? So that's what we got going on there. Okay. Uh the Madral gave its sword an extra twist as it okay, let me just read this whole paragraph right here. He came to a crossing of corridors, and to his left was the tail end of a fight. 6 top-knotted men lay bleeding and still, and a 7th was dying. The Madral gave its sword an extra twist and pulled the blade free of the man's body, and the soldier screamed as he dropped his sword and fell. The Fade moved with viperous grace, the serpent illusion heightened by the armor of black, like overlapping plates. The serpent illusion heightened by the armor of black overlapping plates that covered its chest. It turned, and that pale, eyeless face studied Rand, and it started toward him, smiling a bloodless smile, not hurrying. It had no need to hurry for one man alone. Bruh, it's over. It's over. That's all I know. That's all I know. It's over. I can't believe it. Like, just, and the way that I don't know, man. We just don't waste time talking about the things that are going on, right? We get play by plays sometimes, but overall, we're just like, this is what happened. Like, da 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 da, ba, boom, boom. Like, whoa, whoa. For me, I would like to spend a little bit more time on the fight. On the fight. I love fighting, just period. That's like, I love fighting. So I would want to see a little bit more of that play by play of what's going on, but it's all right. You know what I mean? It's okay that we don't get that because it's still so good and it's filled with so much, like, it's like heart pumping. And then Rand is like, it just killed 7 armed soldiers together. What am I going to do? And then I put over here in my margins, as you can see, Inktar pulls up because bruh pull uppeth. And he's like, this one is mine, Rand. And his dark eyes never left the Fade's face. Like, bruh, get up out of here. Go and get your woman. Don't worry about this. I got it. You don't have to worry about it. Get up out of here, bro. And then Rand, one thing that I did want to make mention of is Rand has always been a real one. He's always been ready to fight. He's always been ready to rock because he's like, no, we'll fight it together, Inktar. And he's like, bro, you're not ready for this. Go fight some more Trollocs before you try to pull up on a Fade. And I love that. I love that. Everyone has been looking out for Rand and he's been looking out for everybody. Everybody's just been looking out for him, yo. Oh, and then he's booking it. He's going through the room. He's into the dungeon. He's looking around. He's trying to find Egwene. And then boom. His eyes fell on the table and he stopped dead, breath and even thought freezing. on either side of the still burning lamp, as if to make a centerpiece, set the heads of the guards in two pools of blood. Their eyes stared at him, wide with fear, and their mouth gaped in a last scream no one could hear. Rand gagged and doubled over. His stomach heaved again and again as he vomited into the straw. Finally, he managed to pull himself erect, scrubbing his mouth with his sleeve. His throat felt scraped raw. Choosing to put erect and raw and mouth in the same sentence is so wild, but still, like, bruh, like, damn. Whoa. Like, bruh, he cannot stomach this. No one really could in this situation. And I don't know if you saw in the margin I put, oh shit. I was like, oh my God, what's happening? I was so not prepared. I was just so not prepared. And then, of course, he's looking around the room, and bruh, the Trollocs, I don't know how, but the Trollocs had time to pull up, tag the walls with, like, they was severing heads off, tagging walls with the blood of the fallen soldiers. Bro, they are menaces. Like, the Trollocs are menaces. But then we see, obviously, that there is writing on the wall that is written in blood in English, not in Trolloc tongue. And it says, "We will meet again, Tomenhead. It is never over, Althor." And right here I wrote, Fane is a menace, because, I mean, who else really wrote that other than my guy Fane, right? And I'm still not sure who broke Fane out, and I definitely thought we would get that answer in these chapters, but we didn't. And then who pulls up? Who else other than Jaw? Jaw pulls up, set tripping. A woman stood in the outer doorway, back stiff with outrage. Her hair was like pale gold, excuse me, and a dozen or more braids. What in the world? My hold on. All right, my iPad doesn't want to connect to my computer anymore. Um, her hair was like pale gold and a dozen or more braids, but her eyes were dark and sharp on his face. She looked not much older than he, and pretty in a sulky way, but there was a tightness to her mouth that he did not like. Then he saw the shawl she had wrapped tightly around her with its long red fringe. Aes Sedai, and light help me. She's red Aes Sedai. Like, the last thing you want is to be caught cleaning something off, you know, tampering with evidence in front of a red Aja as a dude. Like, you don't want that to happen, but it happened to him, and it's very unfortunate, but it happened. It happened to him. He got taken out. Well, he didn't get taken out, but he almost got taken out, you know? And it's just like, man, what what are we doing here, you know? Like, what are we doing? Man, but I understand he's just so he's never been in this place like this. Like, he just found two people beheaded, and they used the blood of those people that were beheaded to tag on the wall and write his name on the wall, talking about you, like, yo, Althor, we're coming for you, G. Like, like, what do you have to do with this? Of course, and Sister Strongjaw, exactly. And Strongjaw fashion, she comes through. Yo, what's up with this, Sharice? What's up, girl?
Hello there.
She comes through and she makes it an issue, as she will, as she does, right? As she does. She makes it an issue, man. And I was like, oh no, like when I seen that it was Leandrin, I was like, ah, bro. I was like, it's over. And then, and then here we go. Wait. Here we go. This is a part that I really was not ready for. This is something that I'm gonna spend a little bit of time talking about this, okay? So let me get to around here. Here we go. And here we go. We're gonna talk about this part a lot.
Everything must be left exactly as it is for us to examine. Touch nothing. She took a step forward, peering at him, and he took one back. Yes, as I thought. One of those with Moiraine. What do you have to do with this? Her gesture took in the heads on the table and the bloody scrawl on the walls. For a minute he goggled at her. Me? Nothing. I came down here to find Egwene. He turned to open the inner door, and the Aes Sedai shouted, No! You will answer me! Suddenly it was all he could do to stand up, to keep holding the lamp and his sword. Icy cold squeezed at him from all sides. His head felt caught in a frozen vice. He could barely breathe for the pressure on his chest. Answer me, boy. Tell me your name.
Bruh.
Involuntarily he grunted, trying to answer against the chill that seemed to be pressing his face back into his skull, constricting his chest like frozen iron bands. He clenched his jaws to keep the sound in. Painfully he rolled his eyes to glare at her through a blur of tears. The light burn you, Aes Sedai. I won't say a word, the shadow take you. Answer me, boy. Now! Frozen needles pierced his brain with agony, grated into his bones. The void formed inside him before he even realized he had thought of it, but it could not hold out the pain. Dimly he sensed light and warmth somewhere in the distance. It flickered queasily, but the light was warm, and he was cold. Distant beyond knowing, but somehow just within reach. Light so cold. I have to reach... What? She's killing me. I have to reach it, or she'll kill me. Desperately, he stretched toward the light. What is going on here? Abruptly, the cold and the pressure and the needles vanished.
Yo, bruh, like Moiraine pulled up and saved, bro. Like, okay, so questions, all right? Questions. Is what Leandrin just did to Rand what she did to Nynaeve in the show? Because in my opinion, it seemed like it was that same type of thing, but Nynaeve was just with the shit. So she didn't go out like that. But our boy Rand, he is not that, he's not that guy yet. He's not that guy. So he's not able to go in like that just yet. So I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, why is she, like, not why is she, but like, how is she what is this move she is doing to him? And why is it, like, why is she able to torture bruh, basically? Am I tripping? Isn't that against, like, the rules? Like, isn't that against the rules? Or is it like, oh, she thinks it's a dark friend, so she gets to do that? She's like bending the rules, that's something that I definitely was a little confused about. And I was like, another thing though, I love the way we don't get like it explained to us as Leandrin uses telepathic torture on Rand. No, we just get explained to us what's happening to him. Like we only that's how we're explaining the magic. It's like we're not hearing about the magic. We're just knowing we're not getting an explanation of the magic. We're getting an explanation of what the magic is doing to Rand. And I don't know why, but that just works for me so well. It works for me so freaking well. I love it. I can't lie to you. I really do. I think I think it's one of my favorite things about the series or about these books is that we are able to get, that kind of point of view of how Rand feels himself about to, touch the true source or wield the one power. Like we don't just like, oh, he's reaching out towards the one power or he's trying to touch the one power. Like, no, because he doesn't know what it is yet. For Moiraine, like, yeah, we'll hear it say, and she reaches out to touch the true source because she knows that's what she's doing. But since Rand is still learning it, he has these explanations be the way that he experiences the magic in the book, and I just I just love it. I just love it. I think it works really well here. And I also love how Leandrin really doesn't care just because Moiraine pulled up. She's like, what's going on? I said, like Moiraine is like, yo, what's going on, Leandrin? Like, you're not about to just BS with me. And then Leandrin is like, no, you tell me what's going on here. Like, what are you even doing down here? And then Moiraine's like, no, what are you doing down? They're just both pointing fingers, answering no questions, but answering questions. You know what I mean? Like, it has to be crazy to see two Aes Sedai really interact with each other or even be in the presence of Aes Sedai interacting with each other because it's like both of them is lying, but they can't lie. How is this going? How is this happening? Both of them are lying, but as an Aes Sedai, they are not able to lie. How? That has to be exhausting to be around. Like, got like Aes Sedai are literally just gaslighting. Like, gas Sedai. There you go. I light. I gaslight. Aes Sedai. Isolite. Ice. I don't know. I tried. But yeah, yo, that was I like that. And then Rand is like, Egwene is down here. I'm out. You know what I mean? I'm out. I gotta go see what's going on there. And then he runs off into the night. Bruh. And then shivering, Rand peered into the next cell, right? Like, no, 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 here we go. And then this is what was crazy. I couldn't believe it. Yo, as he runs away, he's like, he bends the corner and he's like, and he hears a gurgle. It says a hollow gurgle and a thrashing sound came from his right, and he thrust the lamp that way. The prisoner in the fancy coat was sagging against the iron grill of his cell. His belt looped around the bars and then around his neck. As Rand looked, he gave out a one last kick scraping across the straw covered floor, and was still, tongue and eyes bulging out of a face gone almost black. His knees almost touched the floor. He could have stood any time he wanted to. Bruh took himself out. He was not having it, period. Like, there was no way that he was about to go out with, like, that's crazy. What? And then the next cell, there's a dude who is just in a corner, cowering, terrified. I forgot I had my coffee. Yep. Yep. Like, terrified, just in the next room over. Like, what? And then he goes down a little further, and he sees that the door to Fane's cell stood open, and the cell was empty. Who done it? I don't know yet. I am not sure who done it. Egwene and Matt lay bonelessly unconscious. Like, damn. Rand told her to stay away from Peyton Fane. Why? I don't understand why she would go right back immediately. And then she's like, yo, Matt Perrin, slide with me. Like, that was a good idea, but like, why are we going in the first place, love? Like, let's not do that. Let's not put ourselves in any more danger than we actually need to, please. And this is something that stood out to me too. Leandrin reached Rand first and began to bend towards Egwene, but Moiraine darted in ahead of her and laid her free hand on Egwene's head. Leandrin straightened with a grimace. Like, girl, get up out of here. Don't put your hand on my babies. That's how Moiraine pulled up. Moiraine pulled up like Mama Bear. But really, she pulled up to protect him because she knows that if Leandrin even gets a scent of how powerful any of them are, it's going to be bad. No one wants that. And then we find out that not only is Patton Fane gone, but the dagger is also gone off of Matt. Crazy. Moiraine tells the guards to take Matt to the Amyrlin seat. Leandrin wants nothing to do with that. And then they're like, yo, Ingtar, bro. Whatever came up in here was so terrifyingly terrifying that the dude in this cell, he took himself out. And the dude in the cell next to him, he's cowering in the corner in the fetal position, weeping, scared of me. Like, what? And now we find out that this wasn't just an attack. This wasn't a prison break. This was a full-on siege, a full-on infiltration, for lack of better words. They have got the horn. They got the horn of the Lear, the chest and all, right? So at this moment, I was like, the chest and all? Hey, wait a minute. And then I jotted it down in my little note as you don't see right here. Boom. As you see right here, bow. Season 1 finale, right? So what I see that has happened is for the season 1 finale, they took the event that happened at the end of book 1 and mixed it with this moment right here together, and then took the Amyrlin seat moment out of it and saved that for the traveling to Tar Valon, right? So I actually think they did a really good job of meshing that together. I'll talk about that more in the book to show comparison, but that was my immediate thought when I saw that. I was like, oh snap, bro, like they're doing the book to show comparison thing right here. They're not doing it, but I see it happening and I really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it, yo. Like it was really fire. But yeah, he's like, yo, it's gone. Chest and all. They came in through the dog gate and left the same way. Like, oh my goodness. It's crazy. It's crazy unfortunate. Yo, what's up with that? What's up with that? Abu pulling up on Twitch. G, how you doing? If Twitch is tripping, then pull up on YouTube. Same name, but we're on YouTube as well. Or Facebook or Twitter or whatever else there is that you want to pull up on. But I don't know why Twitch is having a problem. So if you're up on Twitch right now, I appreciate you. Oh, yep, I see you dropped a follow as well. Yo, thank you for the follow. Yo, welcome to the super fam over there on Twitch, my guy Abu. But we are over here on YouTube as well. It's working fine and dandy on this side. So if it's not working on Twitch or wherever you guys see this at, come over to the YouTube because it's working here for sure. But yeah, yo. So the Horn of Valir is gone. So they have added or they have blended all these moments together in the show, and that's the last time I'll talk about that. So over here on boom. So yeah, the horn's gone. The Horn of Valir is gone. They basically did a full-blown siege and got all the things that they need to do the things that they need to do, whatever those things may be. And we find out that they came in through the gate and left the same way. And they killed about 50 Trollocs, but still hella of them escaped. Like, what? And then we find out that there are dark friends inside Faldara. There is, in fact, a war in Ba Sing Se. Like, whoa. Definitely did not expect that. But I did. Oh, and then we find out that there was no earlier order. It was just an order to keep him inside specifically. And I was like, damn, they did him dirty. Like, they really just wanted him. Like, they just kept him inside. I just thought that was funny. And then we get our, not an introduction, but we hear about Varen again, and we found out, and we look at the brown Aja pulling up on us. We got the Aes Sedai's here now, doing the damn thing. Rand's like, how did Moiraine know? And then Land's like, bro, she knows everything, sheep herder. I love that he just always is calling Rand sheep herder at all times. Oh, and then we get this awesome moment between Rand and Lan, yet another one. The moments between Rand and Lan having that kind of like big brother, little brother type of vibe going on, that father figure vibe going on there. It just works every single time we see it. He was like, "Yeah, well, they're not angry at you, fascinated, more like it. Even Lady Amelisa can't stop asking questions about you. They think you're a prince in disguise. There is an old saying here in the Borderlands, better to have one woman on your side than 10 men. They're trying to decide whose daughter is strong enough to handle you. It's too bad you have to leave." Like, bro, this man has become an overnight like sensation within Faldara. Yo, every woman wants him. Even the OG ladies are like, yo, it's him, and like, bro, it's crazy. I was definitely not prepared for that. But they're like, yo, you can go if you want to. The choice is up to you, sheep herder. Make your choice known. Do what you want to do. Make it happen, capping. And then that is how we end chapter 6 of this book, yo. So chapter 6 was amazing. I had a fantastic time with chapter 6. It's time to get into chat and see how you guys felt about chapter 6. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. I know you love your dream sequences. You know I love my dream sequences, Marisu. And I love the dream sequence in this. Like, we started it off with a wonderful dream sequence. They're fantastic. Like I said, it just gives us that way to peer into either the future or to just know how bad our characters' minds is really messed up. Nynaeve is a real one for hiding Rand. Yeah, she was trying. But man was not trying to get helped. Capering conjures such a specific imagery. I guess you're right, huh? Poor parents. Some people pay good money to get yellow eyes. Yeah, that was unfortunate that he, wait, did that happen? I don't think that happened here yet. Yeah, I don't think we saw Perrin just yet, right? Or his eyes, at least. I think that's in the next chapter. I might be wrong. I wonder if a girl with yellow eyes would make people as nervous. It's mostly guys with weird abilities that freaks people out. That's very true. Yeah, the women are looking for Rand, which is crazy. They was searching for bro. Sheepherder's still my fave. Nynaeve is in her mid-20s equals old for Rand. Hey, it'd be like that. Pay attention, naming the Dark One is no joke. Yeah, I see, yo. Like, he said his name and everything almost stopped. His life almost ended. No, I don't know if him saying the Dark One's name is what led to the siege completely, right? But it's definitely what whacked him out. This isn't some BS religion. If you name the Dark One, bad things happen. Period. Rand's like, bet. Yeah. It's like, yo, challenge accepted. Like, that should be the biggest hint right there that maybe the Dark One isn't dead, bro. Like, if the Dark One was dead, you wouldn't have got a freaking concussion standing still. Shinar is weird, co-ed bathtubs, but a man can't walk through women's quarters? Oh, damn. That's true. Damn, that's true. Damn. Interesting. Jordan really likes to give the fog of war feeling in his fight scenes. Yeah, I dig that. I dig that. RJ saw combat in Vietnam. Who knows what all he endured? Ingtar is right. He wasn't ready. Facts. Yeah, this was a crazy sentence. Like, that was just crazy work happening back to back to back. It was like, bro, it was like he's erect, raw, and he's like wiping his mouth. It was just a lot of wild things going on in that sentence. I was like, bro, what? Sharice, welcome in, girl.
Hello there.
Hope you're having a good night. Hey, Thatch, my man, how you doing?
Hello there.
Do we think Rand would have been able to channel if Moiraine didn't happen on by? Oh yeah, he was reaching for the source, but who knows what he was gonna do? But he was about to channel. Like, that's what he had no choice. He didn't know what was happening to him. He went in straight defense mode. He was 100% about to make that shit happen. He's already channeled, so he definitely can. It's just random if he'll be successful. Yeah, I feel that. I always felt it was the same weave she used on the woman. The air weaves holding Nynaeve in the show. Oh, okay. I feel you. It just seemed like a little different, though. Like, it did seem like that, but it seemed different also. The way the magic is presented is as more integral to the universe versus being taught to us like a science process. I like the science process. I like both sides, honestly. The thing is, these weaves are so illegal that Aes Sedai like Moiraine don't even recognize them. Probably. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that shit was crazy. I'm like, yo, what is she doing? Yo, Ackham.
Hello there.
What's happening? RJ had a degree in nuclear physics. That shows in how he designs his magic systems. Damn. Interesting. Leandrin is sus to Moiraine. As she should be. It's a lot like embroidery. The pulls out stitching from the book and sews them somewhere else. What are we talking about? I don't remember what this is in context to. Yo, what's up with the RG?
Hello there.
Are you absoluting from Twitch, Ruski? I'm not sure. Rand is extremely bangable by Faldara standards. Extremely. A little bit too much. It was Umbra's helmet. Or at least they wanted to be Umbra's helmet. They was trying hard to get on that helmet, let me tell you. But yeah, yo, that was my feelings on chapter 6. I appreciated it so much. It was a good start to the chapter. So Lau, let's keep on moving on and moving on. But before we do, y'all already know what's happening.
6 nations divided, how the gods envisioned the lands of Ghaphora, where nations must praise their gods individually. Inguvu, the god of power, Altira, the goddess of reality, Akasha, the goddess of space, Akaili, the goddess of mind, Nafasi, the god of time, Isarin, the god of soul. Each god bestowed their name and universal property to their nation through the blood of their land. Diligent praise to these gods, along with the blood of the land, allows the inhabitants of Ghaphora to wield the universal property of their god. These inhabitants are called gifts. It is forbidden for these nations to fraternize with one another. Gifts, the lands of Ghaphora.
All right, we back like we never left. Y'all already know. Y'all already know, baby. Boom. Okay. And now let's get into yo, this is going to be like, yo, yeah. Blood calls blood, baby. Let's get into it, all right? Let's get into it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Oh, boom. There we go. All right. Yo, we got to mention of the Angreal here, the Angreal. And the Angreal is a small, age-darkened ivory carving of a woman in flowing robes and a square of silk. And oh no. Yeah. Like what? And this is the thing that gives them more power, right? And it even says it here, working together with other Aes Sedai, merging their abilities, channeling the flow of the one power to a single task was tiring work under the best conditions, even with the aid of an Angreal. So they're really doing everything they can to help our boy Matt out. And then I think I don't know if this was the first time we got the introduction of Leanne. I think we might have seen her before, but you know, she's here. Leanne is in the building as well. And then we have Leanne Varen and Moiraine, and they're all talking. Leanna, excuse me, her name's not Leanne, it's Leanna if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, and then Varen's like, "Yo, it's too bad I don't have that dagger so I could heal him completely." and just she just wants to get all of the she wants all the ideas, she wants all of the everything, right? She's trying to get down to the itty bitty nitty gritty and everything else of it. She wants to know everything she can. Like that's what her main point is. I mean, as the Brown Aja, that's what they do, right? They want to get all that information. They want to know everything. And then this is where we also get I think this is a proper introduction of Varen and who she is and kind of what she looks like a little bit more, because I don't think we got that too much in the last chapter, but it's like she's a plump, square-faced woman, and even with the Aes Sedai gift of agelessness, she still looks old. You know what I mean? She still looks a little older. So it just shows you how old she truly is. And it's really awesome to be able to have kind of like a face to all of these characters via the show. And sometimes they work and sometimes they don't work. But it's like, I think whenever we do get a description of the character, it's been pretty accurate to what we see in the show as well, in my opinion. And they just talk about how Matt's doing and how he's not doing really. He's not doing well at all. She says he may have changed beyond the reach of full healing, even if no longer enough to contaminate others. Like, damn. The hatred and suspicion that destroyed Shadar Logoth, every man and woman's hand turned against each other, will be loosed in the world again. Like, I don't think I understood that the impact or the heaviness of the dagger. Like, I didn't know the dagger was basically holding back Pandora's box. Like, I had no idea. I'm like, whoa. I was like just reading this part, I was like, wait a minute, like Matt's dagger? That dagger is going in the whole world? Was I not paying attention? You know what I mean? It was kind of one of those parts. But I mean, I was paying attention. It's just like, I don't know. Sometimes you got to hear things more than once for it to really click. Then we also find out that Lord Agomar is sending men to hunt those who took the horn and his slew men, and slew his oathman, and the same are the one that took the dagger. So they're basically going on an all-out strike on this right here. Right? And then like everyone is just kind of talking, and I may have not been paying attention. Oh yeah, I wasn't paying attention, but it just kind of seemed like the Amerlin seat popped up out of nowhere at this part. It was like she just nodded at something that was said and was like, "Yes, of course, he can't do it if he lives long enough." And I was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Where the hell did she come from?" But I didn't realize that she was one of the women that were rapping everything going on. I think I just overlooked that part. Yeah, I did overlook that part because it definitely says one of the women were the Amerlin seed herself. But it just threw me off. I was like, what? Oh. Oh, snap. And then we got the next portion that I wanted to hear. Let me see.
could be only taunting, yet it has the form of poetry or song and the sound of prophecy. We know little of prophecies from the shadow, Mother. The Amelin hesitated only a moment before nodding. Prophecies from the shadow, dark prophecies, had an unfortunate way of being fulfilled as well as prophecies from the light. Read it to me. Verin ruffled through the pages, then cleared her throat and began in a calm, level voice. Daughter of the night, she walks again. The ancient war she yet fights. Her new lover she seeks, who shall serve her and die, yet serve still. Who shall stand against her coming? The shining walls shall kneel. Blood feeds blood. Blood calls blood. Blood is, and blood was, and blood shall ever be. The man who channels stands alone. He gives his friends for sacrifice. 2 roads before him, one to death beyond dying, one to life eternal. Which will he choose? Which will he choose? What hand shelters? What hand slays? Blood feeds blood, blood calls blood, blood is and blood was, and blood shall ever be. Luke came to the mountains of doom. Isam waited in the high passes. The hunt is now begun. The shadow's hounds now course and kill. One did live and one did die, but both are. The time of change has come. Blood feeds blood, blood calls blood, blood is and blood was, and blood shall ever be. The watchers wait on Toman's head. The seed of the hammer burns the ancient tree. Death shall sow and summer burn before the great Lord comes. Death shall reap and bodies fail before the great Lord comes. Again the seed slays ancient wrong before the great Lord comes. Now the great Lord comes. Now the great Lord comes. Blood feeds blood. Blood calls blood. Blood is and blood was and blood shall ever be. Now the great Lord comes.
Bruh.
There was a long silence when she finished. Finally, the Amelin said, "Who else has seen this, daughter? Who knows of it?" "Only Seraphel, Mother. As soon as we had copied it down, I had men scrub the walls. They didn't question, they were eager to be rid of it." The Amelin nodded. "Good. Too many in the borderlands can puzzle out Trolloc script. No need to give them something else to worry over. They have enough." "What do you make of it?" Moraine asked Verin in a careful voice. "Is it prophecy, do you think?" Verin tilted her head, peering at her notes in thought. "Possibly. It has the form of some of the few dark prophecies we know, and parts of it are clear enough. It could still be only a taunt, though." She rested a finger on one line. "Daughter of the night, she walks again. That can only mean Lanfear is loose again. Or someone wants us to think she is." "That would be something to worry us, daughter," the Amelin's seat said, "if it were true. But the Forsaken are still bound." She glanced at Moraine, looking troubled for an instant before she schooled her features. "Even if the seals are weakening, the Forsaken are still bound." Lanfear. In the old tongue, Daughter of the Night. Nowhere was her real name recorded, but that was the name she had taken for herself, unlike most of the Forsaken who had been named by those they betrayed. Some said she had really been the most powerful of the Forsaken next to Ishamael, the betrayer of hope, but had kept her powers hidden. Too little was left from that time for any scholar to say for certain. With all the false dragons that are appearing, it is not surprising someone would try to bring Lanfear into it. Moraine's voice was unruffled as her face, but inside herself she roiled. Only one thing for certain was known of Lanfear beside the name. Before she went over to the shadow, before Luz Therin Telemon met Ileana, Lanfear had been his lover. A complication we do not need.
Yo, like, it's about to go down. She's coming back to town. Like, what? Everything about this is so different, but I love it. I love it. And then we get to know a little more about Lord Luke, of course, the brother of Tigraine, and then the daughter of Andor, who vanished in the Blight. But no one knows who Isam is. But Isam definitely seems like it might be Ishi trying to be secret and have like another name. And then they say that Isam had been bloodkin to Lan or is bloodkin. They're like, whoa, wait a minute, hold up. And then Moiraine tells us that there are rumors on Almouth Plain and Toman Head, and Hawkwing sent 2 of his sons as well as armies. So they're just chopping it up, and we get so much stuff dropped in this section, yo. They start talking about the Arth Ocean, armies of the night, lands under the shadows, the ancient tree, the nation of Almouth. Like, they're just dropping names and after names. Tree of life, tree of man, the Terraboners that call themselves the tree of man, of course. It's like, yo, there was so much information jam packed in this segment, and it was like lore on top of lore on top of lore, baby. And I was like, hell yeah! But it's they're giving us all this lore as a way of themselves also trying to decode the situation that they're in currently. So it was just fire to be able to kind of hop back and forth or go back and forth and navigate between the differences within the book, not within the book, but with or like navigate back and forth and see what they're talking about, you know, Arthur Hawkwing, who's supposed to be, all these things, like all of these things just work together well, so properly, man. And it just makes me so hype. Did I skip something? And we obviously kind of know a lot about the stuff that happens in this portion as well. It just kind of gets told to us in a new way for sure. Or at least I do because of because of the show. So the ancient tree, there's always been rumors that while the nation of Almouth still lived, they had a branch of Avon Desora that perhaps even a living sapling, and the banner of Almouth was blue for the sky above, black for the earth below, with spreading tree of life to join them. Of course, Taraboners call themselves the tree of man and claim to be descended from rulers and nobles in the age of legends. The Mani claim descent from those who made the tree of life in the age of legends. There are other possibilities, but you will note, Mother, that at least 3 center around Almouth Plain Tomanhead. Like, bruh, we are in here finding out about a whole bunch of stuff. Dropping Damani, like just dropping name after name after name. Uh and then the Amerlin says, this is not prophecy, and it doesn't matter a rotted fish head what ancient tree is meant. Oh man. And then she says, because I believe so doesn't because I believe does not make it so, talking about Arthur Harqueen's foreign armies that they're trying to get. Uh and she's like, yo, and then Moiraine is trying to calm down the Amerlin seat. And, that only goes as well as it can go. And it really doesn't go too well at all. And then all of a sudden, Marin is like, and of course, the man who channels must be one of the 3 young men traveling with you, Moiraine. Moiraine stared in shock, not aware of the world. I am a fool. Before she realized what she was doing, she had reached out to the pulsing glow she always felt there, waiting, to the true source. The one power surged along her veins, charging her with energy, muting the sheen of power from the Amerlin seat as she did the same thing, yo. They got terrified. Moiraine had never before even thought of wielding the one power against another Aes Sedai. We live in perilous times, and the world hangs in the balance, and what must be done must be done. It must. Oh, Varen, why did you have to put your nose in things where it did not belong? Varen could not help but be aware of the nimbus surrounding each of them, the light that came from touching the source. A hint of satisfaction settled on Varen's face, no sign that she realized she had hurled the lightning bolt. I thought it must be so. Who better to help than her girlhood friend who used to sneak down with her to snitch sweet cakes, yo. And then right there, I even wrote it, yo. They got scared. I was like, oh shit, they got scared. They got scared, and I wasn't ready. I just really wasn't ready for that. I didn't like. I know that the Brown Aja are super smart, but for her to just flat out be like, "Oh yeah," and that boy that's with you, one of them can channel for sure. Which one? Don't know, but one of them can, without a doubt. Like without a doubt.
The Amelin shook her head wonderingly. You accuse your sister and me of... I won't even say it. And you are worried that you've spoken too familiarly to the Amelin seat. You bore a hole in the boat and worry that it's raining.
There
Think
she
what you
goes.
are suggesting, daughter. It is too late for that, Swan, Moraine thought. If we had not
Bruh.
panicked and reached for the source, perhaps
Yeah,
then...
they slipped.
But she is sure now. Why are you telling us this, Varen? She said aloud. If you believe what you say, you should be telling it to the other sisters. To the Reds, in particular. Varen's eyes widened in surprise. Yes, I suppose I should. I hadn't thought of that. But then, if I did, you would be stilled, Moraine, and you, Mother, and the man gentled. No one has ever recorded the progression in a man who wields the power. When does the madness come exactly, and how does it take him? How quickly does it
Yo.
grow? Can he still function with his body rotting around him? For how long? Unless he is gentled, what will happen to the young man, whichever he is, will happen whether or not I'm there to put down the answers. If he is watched and guided, we should be able to keep some record with reasonable safety, for a time at least. And, too, there is the Cariathan cycle. She calmly returned their startled looks. I assume, Mother, that he is the dragon reborn. I cannot believe you would do this. Leave walking free a man who can channel, unless he was the dragon. She
Bruh.
thinks only of the knowledge.
She's on it, yo. She's on it. She's on it. She literally only does think of the knowledge. She's sitting here just dropping bombs, and no one has any idea what's going on. And then Moiraine's finally like, "Yo, enough, sister. Like, just chill out." You know what I mean? And then she loosens her grip, and when she loosens her grip on the true source, I love that it says, "It always was. It was always a loss to feel the power drain away." Like blood and life pouring from an open wound. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Uh, and then after doing all of that, you know, Varen still is looking at the Amerlin seat to get permission to sit down. Oh, I guess we actually have another point of view with Perrin. I forgot we get to see Perrin's POV here too. But yeah, we get Perrin's POV here. Oh yeah, and then we end Moiraine's POV by basically saying, "Hey Varen, I love you. We have awesome memories, but I'll freaking murder you if I have to." Like You know, classic Moiraine, yo. I don't know what else to say. Like, classic Moiraine. Shit. Whoa. And then when we switch to parents POV, the infirmary is filled with Aes Sedai. And I like that we get to see Baron. We get to see Perrin have this almost bull of in a china shop effect to where he's like he had to be careful so he would not hurt someone accidentally or break things. Now it's just second nature to him because he's freaking so ginormously gigantic, but not ginormously gigantic, but you know what I mean? He's so towering over most people and just larger than a lot of people that he just wants to make sure he's not doing anything bad to hurt anybody. And then we find out that the serving women had found him in the dark, and one of the Lady Amalisa's attendants looked at him and then immediately sent for the Red Aja. Like, she was like, "You, man's has yellow eyes. He's sitting here in the dark. Call Leandra now." And that's cold that she did bruh like that. Excuse me. Uh and then like parents talking to Matt about the situation that happened. And I wrote right here because I was we haven't had anyone kind of mention Fane really at all. Like, especially Perrin, who was actually there to see Fane, you know, like, and then so basically I was like, did Egwene accidentally let not Perrin, but Fane out, you know? Like, I don't think she would do something like that, but like I'm just, you know, I'm just spitballing here, you know. I'm not sure what happened. So, yeah. And then Leanna is all you're almost pretty enough to make me wish I was a green. Madam? What? Like, yo, can you chill out? Like, whoa. She's like, yeah, that's right. The greens be smashing their waters, and I wish it was mine because I'd give you some of this. Like, bro, it had me baffled when I read that. I was like, yo, these horny ass Aes Sedai, bro. What's going on? Um, bro, I'm yawning so much. What's happening? My freaking iPad is tripping, bro. Tweaking. And then he talks about how Aes Sedai never lie, but they never really tell the truth either. And then bro tries to slide around her to the door. He's like trying to leave. And then she just reaches her hands out, grabs bruh's face, tilts his head back, and looks into bruh's eyes. Like, what? Like, lady, you boundaries. And then I love how we get to see him be that giant person to where he took her gently by the arms, lifted her up to one side, and then sets her back down so he can walk out. And then she's just kind of sitting there like baffled, like, damn, I got manhandled in a good way. And then and then Rand and Perrin start talking, and Perrin is not having it, bro. Perrin is set tripping with Rand, and I kind of like that, you know. I like he's set tripping because Rand definitely was being a dickhead for no reason. Like, he was definitely being a dickhead. Like, bro, don't turn the people like that are closest to you rocking with you. You don't turn them away, fam. Come on, son. What are we doing? You know, what are we doing? Um But Rand apologizes, but Perrin doesn't care. And he's trying to tell him, like, yo, bro, like, I couldn't be here with y'all because they want me, not y'all. And he's like, bro, Leandra was just trying to kidnap me the other day. What do you mean they want you, not me? And they continue to go back and forth. They continue to go back and forth, just kind of talking and shooting the breeze about all the things that are going on. And then, like, Perrin sees that Rand is still dressed like a lord. So he's like, bruh, you're full of shit. He's like, bro, you can't tell me anything. Well, then I'm out. And then Rand's like, I can't tell you. And then he's like, I just can't tell you. And then a voice in the back of his head says, but you can go now. Egwene's going to be all right. And Matt will be up around in an hour. You can go now before Moiraine changes her mind. And I wrote right here, is someone actually talking to Rand? Like, is there a person that's actually trying to dictate the things that Bruv is doing? Because it 100% seems like there is. Like, I mean, yes, I know that question. The answer to that question is yes, but I'm like, is someone really talking to Rand here? That's really my main question. Like, what? Oh, Jesus. Uh, let's see. Oh, and then Lan pulls up and he's like, yes, talking to Rand in his head. And then Lan pulls up and he's like, yo, sorry, but the Amaryllis Seas wants to see you. And he's like, bro, I'm out of here. And he was like, you should have done that last night, buddy. It's too late. Can't nobody leave. Bro said the Lord Captain himself would pull up if the Emerald Sea calls for him. Pedro Niall might spend the trip planning to kill her, but he's still pulling up. And then bro gets dressed, and he gets dressed in all the fancy garb. Oh yeah, he wasn't in it before. He was saying if Perrin sees me in this, it's gonna be bad. And then Lan tells him, if the Amaryllis Seed is afraid of you, it's smarter for you to think she isn't, because I don't know anything that could frighten that woman. It won't. And then what I put right here in the margin was, we know of something, because she just told us that she is frightened of Rand. Like she's like, he scares her with how powerful he is. So we definitely know something is up there. I know how. No. And then we hear this, and I really love it. I think this is coming from Lan. Lan's version of Moiraine's catchphrase, right? The wheel weaves us all into the pattern as it wills. So it's basically the wheel weaves as the wheel wills, but it's saying it a little bit with a little bit of sauce on it, you know? The wheel weaves us all into the pattern as it wills. Like, yeah, I like that one. I like that one. That's a little more Oogway style, you know? Uh,
What the Amelin wants, sheepherder, she gets. He adjusted Rand's sword belt so the heavy buckle was centered. What I do is the best I can for you. Believe it. But why all this? What does it mean? Why do I put my hand over my heart if the Amelin seat stands up? Why refuse anything but water? Not that I want to eat a meal with her. Then dribble some on the floor and say, the land thirsts. And if she asks how old I am, why tell her how long it is since I was given the sword? I don't understand half of what you've told me. 3 drops, sheepherder, don't pour it. You sprinkle 3 drops only. You can understand later so long as you remember now. Think of it as upholding custom. The Amelin will do with you as she must. If you believe you can avoid it, then you believe you can fly to the moon, like Len. You can't escape, but maybe you can hold your own for a while, and perhaps you can keep your pride, at least. The light burn me, I am probably wasting my time, but I've nothing better to do. Hold still. From his pocket, the warder produced a long length of wide-fringed golden cord and tied it around Rand's left arm in a complicated knot. On the knot, he fastened a red enamelled pin, an eagle with its wings spread. I had that made to give you, and now is as good a time as any. That will make them think. There was no doubt about it now. The warder was smiling. Rand looked down at the pin worriedly. Kaldazar, the red eagle of Manetherin. A thorn to the Dark One's foot, he murmured, and a bramble to his hand. He looked at the warder. Manetherin's long dead and forgotten, Lan. It's just a name in a book now. There is only the 2 rivers. Whatever else I am, I'm a shepherd and a farmer. That's all. Well, the sword that could not be broken was shattered in the end, sheepherder, but it fought the shadow to the last. There is one rule, above all others, for being a man. Whatever comes, face it on your feet. Now, are you ready? The Amelin's seat waits. With a cold knot in the pit of his belly, Rand followed the warder into the hall.
Bruh. Yo, it is insane how much we are cooking with this. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I love it. And I love the fact that Lan is like so happy and bonding with Rand over this. It's like he's like, yo, he's joining the family business almost, you know? And when I was reading this, I wrote in the margin, I was like, is this like an Aiel custom or something that we don't know about or something wild like that? But more accurately, I think it's more of a warder custom that he doesn't know about, and that's how the warders do things. And you know, I think once we get into chapter 8, we'll figure that out a little bit more as well. So I really love that ending part right there. I love seeing Lan and Rand together. I love their little bro time. I love their family time. It works awesomely, just swimmingly. So yeah, man, I'm freaking yeah, let's get it. Let's get it, yo. Let's get it. Let's jump into the chat. I want to see how you guys are feeling about chapter 7. Blood calls blood. Let's get into it. Gotta run, y'all. I have to be working at 7. Y'all have a good one. My G, I hope you have a good rest of your night, brother. Sleep well and wake. Matt is starting to be the Will Byers from Stranger Things. After suffering the whole last book, he's about to suffer some more. Yeah, poor guy, bro. Poor guy. He gets no break. He gets no break. Where is the break? These are the breaks. Break it up, break it up, break it up. Varen is funny and her aloofness. Facts. That's facts. Prophecy is prophecy, dark or light. Man, Sith holocron, Jedi holocron is still a holocron that's containing knowledge, and you gotta heed it. Daughter of the night. Facts. Lanfear is loose, inconceivable. You have read the name Isam before. I have? Oh, wait. I feel like I remember that name vaguely. I remember the name vaguely, but I can't, like, put my finger on it exactly. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I can't put my finger on it. You might remember the Waygate keys are shaped like Vendosora leaves. Yes, I do remember that. And because I was like, yo, we've heard about Avendasora before. Varen casually shattering Moiraine and Swan's whole life. Facts. Just like, yo, I know everything. Varen's like my mom casually mentioning she always knew I snuck out at night to see my boyfriend 20 years ago. 20 years ago. Damn. That's damn. Varen is a boss. Reasonable safety for a time. Nah, that's crazy. When in doubt, threaten them. Facts, KP. Thick slabs of muscles. Perrin has. God damn. I think Rand is talking to himself. I think he would be talking to himself too if he wasn't always absolutely surprised and taken off guard whenever he does it. Like if it's him doing it, he should not be surprised. But he be mad, mind blown, damn near every time. I love Land's life lessons. He's like, you're being a weenie, don't be a weenie. Yeah, facts. Facts. That must be the most unnatural thing in the book yet. Land smiling, for real. Daniel Henney did such a great job of reading that line. Oh, yes, I agree. I agree. Land can smile the same way a Marine Corps sergeant smiles. Yeah, that's true. Lord Agomar told Nynaeve the story of Malkir's fall. Land's uncle was a dark friend who tried to usurp the throne. He got Land's dad killed, but was arrested and put to death. Oh, yes. Yes, I remember that. However, the wife of that uncle escaped with Land's baby cousin, Isan. They disappeared into the blight and are presumed dead. Wait. Lord Agomar told him Land's uncle was a dark friend who tried to usurp the throne. He got Land's dad killed but was arrested, put to death, and the wife of the uncle disappeared with Land's cousin Isam. Okay, I got you all the way now. So we just don't know where Isam is, but he might be a fade. Got you. I understand. Lord. All right, yo. Chapter 7 was solid, but chapter 8, baby, it's the one. It's the one. So, we're going to get into chapter 8 right after these messages. What is up, Super Fam?
How's it going, everyone?
Welcome to Marvel Bros, where we discuss all things Marvel and everything pop culture.
We started Marvel Bros back in 2019 because we have a love for not only Marvel movies and comics, but because we wanted to have a place where people could stay up to date with all pop culture news.
Here, you will have access to all of our content, whether it be trailer reactions. He looks like He-Man.
Oh!
And most importantly, controllable.
Go!
Character breakdowns. Welcome to Marvel Bros Breakdown.
Welcome to Marvel Bros Breakdown, where we dive deeper into characters and theorize about the latest films.
Pop culture news updates. On today's pop culture news update.
And on today's pop culture news update.
Or movie reviews.
We love to have open discussions here on the channel, so feel free to join us when we go live.
Battle Cove, I like that Kang's motives are understandable in the same way Thanos' motives were. That's exactly what we're saying. That was pretty awesome. Well.
Or jump in the comment section of a trailer reaction or breakdowns so we can theorize, converse, and nerd out.
Follow us on social media at Marvel Bros to stay up to date with the latest news, rumors, content, and more.
You can also join our Discord, where we are constantly having conversations pertaining to Marvel, DC, Star Wars, anime, and everything pop culture.
All of our past pop culture news updates are available wherever you listen to podcasts at.
If you guys would like to support Marvel Bros, all you gotta do is visit our website at www.marvelbros.com. and buy some merch. Represent the superfan.
To get early access to content, patron-only scoops, giveaways, private Q&As, and those sacred watch parties. Alrighty, ladies and gents, yeah, that is right. We are here and we're ready to get into it. And it is now time for the longest chapter in the entire book. The longest chapter in the entire book and the longest chapter of the reading tonight. And that is
Chapter 8. The Dragon Reborn.
Yo! Going in. As soon as I saw the title of this chapter, I was pumped. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. As soon as I saw the title, I was like, yes. Yes. And I was also like, what? Like, we are in chapter 8 of book 2, and we already know Mans is the dragon, like, the Dragon Reborn? Like, what? Like, we know it? Like, that's how, like, that's what I thought as soon as I saw the title. I was like, no way. What's happening? How is, what, like, I was like, yo, are we about to tell Mans he's the full-blown dragon? Like, I was like, we're moving everything so fast, I feel like, in the show. So fast, so much faster than the show, excuse me. But still, the show obviously took its creative tendencies, everything they did from here. Like, I mean, bro, they did it in a beautiful way. A beautiful way. And we just start off with Rand and Lan kind of walking. And as he's walking, Kajin, a tall and lean guy, he's like, Taishar Malkir, Taishar Menetherin. True blood of Malkir, true blood of Menetherin. So basically, it basically seems like Rand and Lan are like the guys. You know what I mean? Like, they are the guys. Like Lan is what Rand is. You know what I mean? To their forgotten old kingdoms, basically. Like the old blood and the new blood. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the vibe that it seems. And then it's scaring the shit out of Rand. He's like, what did he say? What's going on? And Lan raised his fist and is like, Taishar Shinar. Like, bro, we are cooking. Like, this is just heat. This entire walk of victory is amazing. And then at this point, I was like, this is when we get to the entrance of the woman's apartments, and everyone is like looking at Rand, and Rand is like super nervous. I was like, bro, this is so much better than being in Tarvalon. Like, I'm sorry. It was amazing to be in Tarvalon. Don't get me wrong. Like, it was definitely dope to see that all go down. But man, this was awesome. Like, I was so ready. I was so ready. Like, so ready, bro. And then something else happened with Lyanna in particular that definitely stood out to me, and it's that she also got a staff. Where did the staffs go in the show? Okay. And then Rand pulls up and he does it just like he's been told. You know what I mean? I am Rand al'Thor, son of Tam al'Thor of the two rivers, which once was Menetherin, as I have been summoned by the Amerlin seat, Lyanna Sedai. Lyanna. So do I. I was like, the Amerlin seat's name is not Leanne, is it? Like, Lyanna Sedai. So do I come and stand ready. But yeah, I forgot where I was. But yeah, yo, I just love that. I love it. He's spitting his shit. He's saying everything he needs to. It's like, yeah. And then also I highlighted this part because I wasn't sure if we had heard his full name before, and if we have, I never really paid attention to it. But we find out that his name is Lan Gaidin. And I was like, whoa. I was like, I didn't know that. Let me put a little pin in that. That's awesome. And then she came through with that heat. She was like, the world grows stranger every day. I suppose the blacksmith will wear a crown and speak in high chant. Like, bruh, she was talking that shit. I love it. And then as Rand is about to go in, Lan can't go. And then she tells him, your lion cub will be safe enough by himself. And I think that that is just awesome, you know, showing that everybody is here. Everybody is understanding who they are. Like everybody understands who they are. They can see what they mean to each other, even though we haven't really seen them be around each other that much. Everybody can tell that there is something, you know what I mean, something there. So, uh, and then Mans is terrified. He's like, yo, they sent a dozen or more Aes Sedai after Logain. Do they need just 3 for me? Like, bro is nervous. And then I also love the way that I love the way that the Emerald Sea immediately is like, have you let Lan at him, daughter? Like, because he is doing all of the Lan-like stuff. Like, he's acting like a warder. And then she says, the Gaidin are stiff-necked and proud, mother, but useful. I would not be without Thomas, as you would not lose Ulrich. And I don't know, I don't think I know either of those names, but I have even heard a few Reds say they sometimes wish for warders, and the Greens, of course. Of course, the Greens want some warders. Oh, Gaidin is a term for a title for warders. Okay. Cool. Didn't know that. Good to know for sure. I thought that was bruh's last name. I was like, yo, what? That's a badass last name.
How did he come by that, Moraine? Tam, Althor, left the Two Rivers as a boy, Mother. He joined the army of Ilion
Talking
and
about the
served in the White
sword.
Cloak War and the last 2 wars with Tyr. In time, he rose to be a blade master and the second captain of the Companions. The 3 Aes Sedai were all ignoring him now.
There we go.
This sword, the Amelin Seat said, it appears to be a heron-mark blade. How did he come by that, Moraine? Tam, Althor, left the Two Rivers as a boy, Mother. He joined the army of Ilion and served in the White Cloak War and the last 2 wars with Tyr. In time, he rose to be a blade master and the second captain of the Companions. After the Aiel War, Tam Althor returned to the Two Rivers with a wife from Camelin and an infant boy. It would have saved much had I known this earlier, but I know it now. Rand stared at Moraine. He knew Tam had left the Two Rivers and come back with an outlander wife and the sword, but the rest? Where did you learn all that? Not in Emond's Field, unless Nynaeve told you more than she's ever told me. An infant boy. She doesn't say his son, but I am.
Rand is still fighting with that I am his son thing. Like, oh man, so much. And then again, they don't even pay attention to, like, they're not even paying attention to him, and they're just like, yo, can you tell if the blade is authentic? And bruh is like, you're not getting my sword. And then he responds, and he's like, they're talking a little bit, and then again, Emerald Seat's like, Lan has been at you. Listen to me, boy. I was like, oh, shit. And then basically she gives him the ultimatum of being able to go. You know, he can either go with them. He can either go with them to go with them to look for the horn, or he can go a separate way or whatever. She basically gives him free reign to do what he wants, and the choice is his. He obviously chooses to go with Rand, to go with Perrin and Mat, and then out of nowhere, she's just like, now that that's dealt with, we can move on to more important matters. I know you can channel, boy. What do you know? Like, oh shit. Caught him completely with his guard down, you know, like softened him up, buttered him up, and then striked with the killing blow. Was like, wow. All of Lan's advice and instructions spinning. Like, bro, he didn't know what to do. He was so unsure of everything. And then yet again, she says, you know, You're gonna wield the one power as surely as roe makes fish. The one power kills those who cannot control its flow. And I don't know if I knew that or not, but that's crazy. Like that is insane. Control it or it will control you. Consume or be consumed. Hey, yo. He's like, yo, can't nobody teach me nothing. How y'all can't teach me how to do anything. And then Moiraine is like, yo, a bird cannot teach a fish to fly, nor a fish teach a bird to swim. And Varen's like, I have always thought that was a bad saying. There are birds that dive and swim, and in the Sea of Storms are fish that fly with long fins that stretch out wide as your outstretched arms and beaks like swords that can. And then they're just like, yo, whatever. And I just love that Varen is getting all flustered, and she is so consumed with knowledge that she's like, yo, that doesn't even make sense. Like, there are birds swim. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I love that. I just love it. And then we got
Beaks like swords that can pierce. Her words trailed off, and she became flustered. Moraine and the Amelin seat were staring at her without expression. Rand took the interruption to try to regain some control of himself. As Tam had taught him long ago, he formed a single flame in his mind and fed his fears into it, seeking emptiness, the stillness of the void. The flame seemed to grow until it enveloped everything, until it was too large to contain or imagine any longer. With that, it was gone, leaving in its place a sense of peace. At its edges, emotions still flickered, fear and anger like black blotches, but the void held. Thought skimmed across its surface like pebbles across ice. The Aes Sedai's attention was only off him for a moment, but when they turned back, his face was calm.
Bruh, like, the way everything is just weaved together so beautifully. So beautifully. Oh, let's keep going.
"Why are you talking to me like this, Mother?" he asked. "You should be gentling me." The Amelin seat frowned and turned to Moraine. "Did Lan teach him this?" "No, Mother. He had it from Tam Althor." "Why?" Rand demanded again. The Amelin seat looked him straight in the eye and said, "Because you are the dragon reborn." The void rocked.
Straight
world
like
rocked.
that.
Everything seemed to spin around him. He concentrated on nothing, and the emptiness returned. The world steadied. "No, Mother. I can channel, the light help me, but I am not Rowelin Darksbane, nor Gwera Amalasan, nor Urien Stonebow. You can gentle me, or kill me, or let me go, but I will not be a tame false dragon on a Tar Valon leash." He heard Verin gasp, and the Amelin's eyes widened, a gaze as hard as blue rock. It did not affect him. It slid off the void within. "Where did you hear those names?" the Amelin demanded. "Who told you Tar Valon pulls the lines on any false dragon?" "A friend, Mother," he said. "A gleeman. His name was Tom Merrilin. He's dead now." Moraine made a sound,
R.I.P.
and he glanced at her. She claimed Tom was not dead, but she had never offered any proof, and he could not see how any man could survive grappling hand to hand with a Fade. The thought was extraneous, and it faded away. There was only the void and the oneness now. "You are not a false dragon," the Amelin said firmly. "You are the true dragon reborn. I am a shepherd from the Two Rivers, Mother. Daughter, tell him the story. A true story, boy. Listen well." Moraine began speaking. Rand kept his eyes on the Amelin's face, but he heard. "Nearly 20 years ago, the Aiel crossed the spine of the world. The Dragon Wall, the only time they have ever done so. They ravaged through Cairhien, destroyed every army sent against them, burned the city of Cairhien itself, and fought all the way to Tar Valon. It was winter and snowing, but cold or heat mean little to an Aiel. The final battle, the last that counted, was fought outside the Shining Walls in the shadow of Dragonmount. In 3 days and 3 nights of fighting, the Aiel were turned back, or rather, they turned back, for they had done what they came to do, which was to kill King Laman of Cairhien for his sin against the tree. It is then that my story begins, and yours. They came over the Dragon Wall like a flood, all the way to the Shining Walls. Rand waited for the memories to fade, but it was Tam's voice he heard, Tam sick and raving, pulling up secrets from his past. The voice clung outside the void, clamouring to get in. I was one of the accepted then, Moraine said, as was our mother, the Amelin Seat. We were soon to be raised to sisterhood, and that night we stood attendance on the then Amelin. Her keeper of the chronicles, Gitara Moroso, was there. Every other full sister in Tar Valon was out healing as many wounded as she could find, even the Reds. It was dawn. The fire on the hearth could not keep the cold out. The snow had finally stopped, and in the Amelin's chambers in the White Tower we could smell the smoke of outlying villages burned in the fighting. Battles are always hot, even in the snow. Had to get away from the stink of death. Tam's delirious voice clawed at the empty calm inside Rand. The void trembled and shrank, steadied, then wavered again. The Amelin's eyes bored at him. He felt sweat on his face again. It was all a fever dream, he said. He was sick. He raised his voice. My name is Rand al'Thor. I am a shepherd. My father is Tam al'Thor, and my mother was... Moraine had paused for him, but now her unchanging voice cut him off, soft and relentless. The Coriasan cycle, the prophecies of the dragon, says that the dragon will be reborn on the slopes of Dragonmount, where he died during the breaking of the world. Gitara Sedai had the foretelling sometimes. She was old, her hair as white as the snow outside, but when she had the foretelling, it was strong. The morning light through the windows was strengthening as I handed her a cup of tea. The Amelin Seat asked me what news there was from the field of battle, and Gitara Sedai started up out of her chair, her arms and legs rigid, trembling, her face as if she looked into the pit of doom at Sheol Ghul, and she cried out, He is born again! I feel him! The dragon takes his first breath on the slope of Dragonmount! He is coming! He is coming! Light, help us! Light, help the world! He lies in the snow and cries like the thunder. He burns like the sun. And she fell forward into my arms. Dead.
Bruh.
Slope of the mountain. Heard a baby cry. Gave birth there alone before she died. Child blue with the cold. Rand tried to force Tam's voice away. The void grew smaller. A fever dream, he gasped. I couldn't leave a child. I was born in the Two Rivers.
Bruh.
Always knew you wanted children, Kari. He pulled his eyes away from the Amelin's gaze. He tried to force the void to hold. He knew that was not the way, but it was collapsing in him. Yes, lass, Rand is a good name. I am Rand al'Thor. His legs trembled. And so we knew the dragon was reborn, Moraine went on. The Amelin swore us to secrecy, we two, for she knew not all the sisters would see the rebirth as it must be seen. She set us to searching. There were many fatherless children after that battle, too many, but we found a story that one man had found an infant on the mountain. That was all. A man and an infant boy. So we searched on. For years we searched, finding other clues, poring over the prophecies. He will be of the ancient blood and raised by the old blood. That was one. There were others. But there are many places where the old blood, descended from the age of legends, remains strong. Then, in the Two Rivers, where the old blood of Manetheren seethes still like a river in flood,
so
in Emond's
peak
Field,
the way it's
I
all
found
weaved
3
together.
boys whose name days were within weeks of the battle at Dragonmount, and one of them can channel. Did you think Trollocs came after you just because you are Taviran? You are the dragon reborn.
Bro, like, the amount of just passion that's even put into it. You know, it's just like, bro, what? Like, I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine just getting that weight immediately lifted and put on your shoulders simultaneously, of like the wonder being gone, but then all of the worry taking its place, right? Like when when worry replaces wonder, like it's such a good and bad thing. Like, man, holy hell.
It is your destiny. He had heard that before, in a dream that had maybe not been entirely a dream. He wondered what the Amelin would say if she knew Baalzamon had spoken to him in dreams. That's done with. Baalzamon is dead. I saw him die. Suddenly it came to him that he was crouching like a toad, huddling under their eyes. He tried to form the void again, but voices whirled through his head, sweeping away every effort. It is your destiny. Babe lying in the snow. You are the dragon reborn. Baalzamon is dead. Rand is a good name. Kari. I will not be used. Drawing on his own native stubbornness, he forced himself back upright. Face it on your feet. You can keep your pride, at least. The three Aes Sedai watched with no expression. What? With an effort, he steadied his voice. What are you going to do to me? Nothing, the Amelin said, and he blinked. It was not the answer he had expected, the one he had feared.
Like, holy shit. It is so intense, man. It's so intense. Like, no matter what you do, no matter what happens, you're gonna be doing the damn thing here. Oh yeah, and then the Amerlin Sea, of course, loves her fish analogies. She's like, "Yo, does an anchor complain about being an anchor for a boat?" I was like, "Damn." And then we see him say, "I will not be used." Right? He's like, "I will not be used." All of this stuff. He's kind of going off, saying all of his stuff, and then he leaves. After he leaves, all of them basically collectively sigh. Like, you know what I mean? It was like, yo, that was necessary. Yes, it was necessary. It was definitely necessary. And Varen like looks at her finger, like she touches her forehead and she's like sweating. They all were nervous, every single one of them. And then they're like, yo, we gotta hide the truth. And then they become the Ajamanati. And they start I guess they've already been the Ajamanati, but Varen joins the Ajamanati with holding this secret and not letting anyone else know it. And the Ajamanati take that, and they just be quiet about the prophecies, and that's just how we end that POV. It was just crazy. I could not believe that they stuffed so much more than just the Dragon Reborn stuff into this chapter. Like, I was like, what? We're going to a whole nother POV? The chapter titled Dragon Reborn isn't just all gonna be about Rand? Like, what? I wasn't ready for that. And then we see Nynaeve doing her storm thing, listening to the wind, listening to the just listening to the wind. And then we find out that any woman who could listen to the wind can channel. So it's like a rite of passage of being a channeler. And I love that because I don't know if we knew that before. And then she says there's definitely something wrong with the feeling of the wind this time. She said the storm felt distant, too far off for her to feel at all, yet it felt as if the sky above should have been pouring down rain, but it was beautiful, and there was sort of been snow and hail and all this stuff. And then she stares at a spot where the bird had been. There's a storm, and there isn't. It means something, but what? And what I wrote down was it is a fork in the road vision, basically. Like, whatever decision Rand makes that is ahead of him will determine whether they go into the storm or into the sunset. And I think both of those analogies are opposites of each other. Uh Yeah. And then we get another moment of Lan and Nynaeve. And it's crazy because the sentence in this paragraph starts off like this. Like, this is just a wild sentence. She was finally beginning to realize her search was futile when she came on land. Excuse me. Excuse me. And then she starts like talking about all the stuff that she thinks is negative about him. Like, he's too tall. He's old enough to be my father. With a face like that, he would have to be cruel. Like, and then she gets mad at Moiraine because she has land. And she's like, yo, you have everything I want. And I just think that was hella funny. And then, of course, she's trying to be like, yo, I don't want, like, you don't want me. And he's like, yo, I told you I had nothing to offer for a bride price but widow's clothes. Like, he's like, yo, basically, I'm telling you that you're too good for me. That's all I said. And then they share glares. They go glare for glare. And then he gives her his championship. And then he gives her his 1996 championship Super Bowl ring, bro, with a crane that flew above a lance and crown. And they're all carefully wrought in detail, the ring of Valkyrie Kings. And she is like, yo, did you just propose to me, basically? And man tells her it is nothing old and useless now. You know, he's just writing it off. But he tells her, show that and you will have guest right and help if you need it from any lord in the borderlands. Warder, show it to a warder, he will give you aid, or carry a message to me. If you send it to me or message me with a note that's marked with this seal, I will come to you without delay and without fail. And then she is like, if I cry right now, I will end it all. It's just so funny because that's like, that's so that's just like a Nynaeve thing, bro. Like, you can tell that Nynaeve be set tripping. And then I think we get, and then like, I don't know if there's no last names or whatever, but like, I like it that they have like the name added in with the title because he calls her Nynaeve Mashiara. And then Mashiara means the beloved of heart and soul, a love that is loved but is also lost and lost past the point of regaining. Like, oh my goodness, how powerful is that? How powerful and beautiful is that, yo? I just love it. And then she turns around and is like, Moiraine sees Moiraine. She turns around to see Moiraine staring at her. She's like, how long have you been there? Long enough to not have heard anything I shouldn't have. Like, yo, the way that they be answering questions, they are such menaces. And then Moiraine calls her out, like, if you don't learn to use the one power, you will never be able to defeat me. Again, like, yo, what? What's happening? And Nynaeve is bamboozled yet again, and she's like, she wants to hit Moiraine, knock away that brief smile. But it also says that Aes Sedai had not been able to wield power openly since the breaking, much less the one power. But they plotted and manipulated, pulled strings like puppet masters, used thrones and nations like stones on a board. She wants to use me too somehow. If a king or a queen, why not a wisdom? Just the way she's using Rand. I'm no child, Aes Sedai. Nynaeve is always on edge. I feel like the show Nynaeve is way more obnoxious, but I feel like book Nynaeve's obnoxiousness is a little bit more warranted. Oh, and then they say Sunday like 4 times, and that just threw me off. Like, I don't think they had ever talked about a day in this book yet. Like, not in book one to this book. Like, they never have said a name of a day. And then all of a sudden in this chapter, they said Sunday like 4 or 5 times, I feel like. And I was just like, bro, what? I was like, what's happening? I was like, what does Sunday mean? Come on. And then Nynaeve and Egwene are talking. Egwene is like, oh, she almost goes to braid up her hair because Nynaeve mentions it, and she's like, nah, you're a woman now. Like, don't be nervous about that. Like, wearing your hair loose has become a symbol of starting a new life. You're a woman now. Like, we are two women a long way from Eamon's Field, and it will be longer still before we see home again. It will be better if you simply call me Nynaeve. It's just fire, bro. And then of course we see other women pulling up, and then we switch the POV, right, from Nynaeve to from Nynaeve to Egwene, and then we see Egwene go run off to find Rand, and then when she's with Rand, it says he had all been but promised to her since they were children. It was just very interesting to me how they chose to kind of flip the script on that. You know what I mean? Saying that he had been promised to her since young. And then real quick, when Nynaeve and Egwene like in their conversation, I love that Nynaeve, after saying "just call me Nynaeve," she's like, "Don't try to comfort the wisdom girl. Like, don't try to comfort me. I'm still grown as hell." Like, that's hella funny. Uh and then Agomar says a man must seek duty, not glory. What will happen will happen. If the horn of Valir is meant to be sounded for the light, then it will be. And then as she sees Rand, she's like, she wants to go off on him, but bro just looks like a lost puppy. His hair needs to be brushed. His face is just showing nothing but anger and defiance and weariness, and is just he's just looking sad. He's just looking sad. And it be like that sometimes. Sometimes you be looking sad. You know what I'm saying? And then rightfully, he's like, I told you Fane was dangerous. I told you, but you wouldn't listen. And then she flipped the script on him. And she's like, if that's how you gonna be, I'm done talking to you. I give you back to Nasura. She won't talk to you the way I am. Like, what? Light knows what they do to you. Like, bro, what? No, 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 no. Don't try to turn this on me, sugar. Like, you messed up here. I dead ass could not have made it more clear to not go into that place. He's like, yo, whatever. And he's like, everybody want a piece of me. Get all of y'all. And then they go their separate ways, and she calls him a wool-headed lummox. A wool-headed lummox. I had to highlight that because I just liked it. I was like, that what a unique diss. You wool-headed lummox. Chapter 8, also known as Moiraine learn all that backstory, yo? Moiraine knows everything. Like, she knew everything. She know bro was born at 4:45 in the morning. Like, how? How does she know all of that? Like, it was insane. Cat crosses the courtyard might be my favorite sword form. That's crazy. Uh, Gaidin is I think just a more formal name of a warder. Gaidin is just a title for warders. It means brother in battle. Oh, okay, that's actually pretty fire. I'm not gonna lie, that's actually pretty fire. Tam, not so much a simple soldier. Facts. Most countries don't let foreigners become generals, but Tam was just that good and that trustworthy that Ilian made an exception. Damn. Wow. Varen is that dude on Reddit that goes, actually? You are the water that turns the wheel itself. Facts, that's what was said. Recognize much of this story from the cold open to a couple of episodes. Yeah, facts. It was awesome to see all of that play out in one moment that played out over the course of multiple, right? Like, I really like that. Moiraine does do a grade A job of storytelling. Moiraine was accepted when she heard the prophecy, meaning she was about 20 to 25. So she's only 45 tops in the books, not 80 like in the show. Oh, I was definitely wondering about that because I was like, so her and Loyal are the same age? Rand's entire origin story is basically Moiraine's origin story. She's literally been looking for him her whole adult life. That's actually wild. I gotta go to bed. Sleep well and wake, everyone. Yo, sleep well and wake, Charisse. Definitely appreciate you for tuning in with us. Hope you had a good time. Book Nynaeve is petty. Petty. She is. Super petty. I think Sunday is supposed to be the summer solstice. Oh, that makes sense. Weeks in this world have 10 days, so a month has 3 weeks, just in case that ever confuses you. Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. I wonder why. I definitely wonder why. Yo, I really did enjoy chapter 8, The Dragon Reborn. Definitely one of my favorite chapters that we've got so far. I love all the lore. I think the segment was my favorite, just period. But chapter 8 was just awesome. It was really dope. The Dragon Reborn is popping. The dragon has been reborn, and we are here, and we're ready to get it popping for real, for real. You'd know that calendar stuff if you read the glossary. Yeah, I do need to read the glossary. I'm lacking on that. I don't know why I haven't read the glossary yet. And unfortunately, I don't know if I'm gonna have a glossary for this book. Let me just leave that open here. Glossary. So I can take a look at that. I do need to check that out. For sure, for sure. All right, it's late, y'all, and I know some of y'all getting sleepy. I know everybody going to bed, but if you trying to stay up with your boy, I got just the thing for you, because we got one more chapter to go. So before you start nodding off, why don't you get you some glitch? I am Sensei Finito, aka Vane Sensei, and I'm here with my bro.
Yo, y'all already know it's Vane DeVito, bro. We up in here, man. Today we came with a little surprise for y'all, which was a little surprise for us as well.
Facts.
And we've been waiting on this surprise. So y'all see it. Y'all see it.
You feel me?
Little delivery box.
We
right
got
there.
the little box
You know what I mean?
from none other than Glitch Energy, yo.
Yo, big glitch out here. You know what I'm saying?
Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Shake it like a sauce, shake it like a glitch, shake it like a glitch, shake it like a shake it.
We in there.
Ooh, it smell dumbass good.
Fire? Ooh.
This is the starter kit. I believe it starts at $15. We got the shaker, 5 flavors. I'm not sure if that's how it comes. That's what they sent to us. So we definitely appreciate that. But y'all definitely check it out. Tell us what your favorite flavor is if you've already tried it.
I'm on go mode. I'm on go mode. Bitch, I'm on go mode.
Get you some glitch energy, y'all. And now, it's time for the last but not least, the moment we've all been waiting for. None other than...
Chapter 9. Leave takings.
Man, I really thought this was a wonderful way to wrap up these fire chapters that we got into tonight, man. Like these fire chapters, it just felt like this was a perfect way to kind of put that bow on there, wrap it up all nice and neatly, and keep it pushing, for lack of better words. And keep it pushing, we did, yo. Like, I feel like this, it felt like the end of an episode, honestly. It felt like the end of a segment, an end of not end of a chapter, but literally like an end of a segment, like of sanctioned reading. Like, it seems like the book has been split up. The reading we're doing seems like it's been split up in a perfect way to know what's going to be happening coming up next. So I there is some good stuff going on in this book. And then just a quick, and we start this chapter off with Rand looking for his harp and his flute, making sure they're there. Just, again, showing that love, showing that inspiration to Tom Merlin. And then we see Rand at the base station, and there are Ingtar's groups with gray owl banners. Some people have golden surcoats with Black Hawk and on the chest that hid their plate and mail. And only Ingtar's helmet had a crescent moon above his brow that pointed up. And then we get a couple name drops. Rough-tongued Uno. We get Reagan or Ragan, and then Massima. We get all of them out there pulling up. And then our good friend Loyal pulls up, man. I was really excited to see Loyal. It had been a while, and the last time we saw Loyal, Rand was being a complete dickhead, of course. And we also see him on his big ass horse because he's huge. And then, he's basically the first person to basically be like, man, I love you. I love you, Rand. It's all good, man. Like, it's all good. And they just start shooting the shit, talking, and just being all happy-go-lucky. We see Perrin with his axe, Matt with his bow. They're still not rocking with Rand. And now Rand is in his royal garb, so they're really not rocking with him at all. And then Rand says to Loyal, he's like, Loyal, I said things to you and I should not have. I hope you'll forgive me. Loyal grins, and his ears stood up because he's a nice, good fella. And he's like, I say things I should not all the time. The elders always say I spoke an hour before I thought. Like, I love that. And then Lan teaches Rand the sheathing sword. I said, listen, sheep herder. He starts going off on him. The only way will be to allow the sword to be sheathed into your own body. Like, bro, what? You will know when it comes, when the price is worth the gain, and there is no other choice left for you. That is called sheathing the sword. Remember it. Like, whoo! Heat. And then Algomar's trying to stop the Amberlin seat from pulling up. From leaving. And then as all that stuff is going on, Rand looks back to see Lan, and Lan is gone. And then I love that Loyal is like pulling back up to Rand's side, and he's like, "That is a hard man to catch and hold, isn't he, Rand? He's not here, then he's here, then he's gone, and you don't see him coming or going." Like, bruh, I love that. Like, Loyal, Loyal literally is the guy, man. He is the guy. I had such a good time seeing our guy, man, and him being himself. And then we get a couple city name drops: Arad Doman, and Almouth Plain. We hear about Loyal's age, being 90 years old. And then the Amerlin seat pulls up and she's like, peace and favor. Damn, Marisu, yeah, you got me on that one, yo. No Diddy. Pause. Pause. No. No, 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 no. That's crazy. That's crazy work, yo. No. No. Not like this. Not like this. But yo, the Amerlin seat pulls up and she's like, peace favor your sword, Lordy Ingtar, glory to the builders, Loyal Kisaran. You honor us, mother, may peace favor Tarvalon. All honor to Tarvalon is how they respond. I just love these almost sing-songy verses that they have in order to greet each other. You know what I mean? Like, I love that. Um Oh, and then Rand gets his spider sense yet again, and he's like feels a set of eyes on him that are unseen, and then he's like, what's going on here? It's not a fade, then who or what? And then coming out of the sky is an arrow right across Rand's face, and a man passing behind the Amerlin cried out and fell, and the arrow came like the arrow just was protruding from his side. And the Amerlin stood calmly looking at her sleeve, and she was a little bloody. And then, bruh, my guy Agelmar's entire world came crashing down. He was like, no, I have failed you, Amerlin seat. Like, yo, he was stressed out and like going through it. He knew not what to do. He fell to his knees, head bowed. Forgive me, mother. I have failed your safety. I am ashamed. For shame. Shame on you. Shame on your cow. Like, bro, he didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do. It was crazy. I was like, damn. And she was like, you have not failed me. Last year in the White Tower with my own guards at every gate and warders all around me, a man with a knife came within 5 steps of me like you. A poor shot for a white cloak bowman or even a dark friend, if it was for me. And as she looks at Rand, like maybe it wasn't for me. And then they also say the thing that you guys have been saying quite a lot: death cannot be healed, because they tried to heal bro that got hit with the arrow, but bro was dead before he hit the ground. And then the Amerlin turned back to Ingtar, and the men gathered behind him. She did not look at Rand again. He was surprised to see her smile suddenly. I wager Ilion does not give its great hunt of the horn so rousing a send-off. But yours is the true great hunt. You are few, so you may travel quickly, yet enough to do what you must. I charge you, Lord Ingtar, House of Shanoa. I charge all of you, Find the horn of Valir and let nothing bar your way. Like, woo! Powerful shit going on right here, yo. And then we hear about Changu and Nadal. And goddamn Changu is gone, and so is Nadal. But I'm like, yo, they say Changu was on guard in the dungeon yesterday, but he wasn't there when Fane got let out. But I'm like, yo, like I said, you can't trust someone named Changu. Like, you can't trust someone with that name. Like, Changu? Changu? Like, you can't trust that name at all, bro. Like, they're up to something. They're gonna try to chain you. You know, you just gotta watch out. And they said they were not on guard when it happened, but they fought at Tarwin's Gap a month ago and saved Lord Agomar when his horse went down with Trollocs all around him. And now they're dark friends. Like, I'm like, yo, what the hell? Everything is breaking apart. Like, oh, bro, they were just going through it. And then they were like, this is Hurin, our sniffer. So they have a sniffer. So there are abilities. There are abilities, magic, and the one power that are used to do what? Like there are abilities, magic, and energy that are not connected to the one power, like what Perrin has, like what the Seers have, like what the Sniffer has. Their powers are not inherently connected to the source, but they have to be connected to something in order to work. So that definitely was like, what's going on here, you know? So I'm interested to figure out what the hell all that's about. And I'm pretty sure that's Raffo now, so it's okay. But he says, I'm a sniffer, you see. I've been one for 4 years this Sunday. Like, yet again, Sunday. Like, but I hear there's a few others like me. It started slow, catching bad smells where nobody else smelled anything, and it grew. Took a whole year before I realized what it was. I could smell violence, the killing, and the hunting. Smell where it happened, smell the trail, and every trail is different. Like that's just crazy. And he says that the worse the violence, the longer it lasts, and he can smell a battlefield that's 10 years old. But he's not a wolf brother though. He's not a wolf brother. Do, do, do. And then we hear about a Bron Aja. Wait. Lord Ingtar was right about the Aes Sedai. There was one in Carrion once, a brown Aja, but I swear I thought she was red before she let me go. She kept me a month trying to figure out how I did it. She didn't like not knowing. She kept muttering, "Is it old come again or new?" and staring at me until you would have thought I was using the one power. Rand could not help but remembering Moiraine say, "Old barriers weaken. There is something of dissolution and change about our time. Old things walk again, and new things are born. We may live to see the end of an age." Like, whoa. So powerful, yo. So freaking powerful. And then that's kind of how we end the POV of Rand leaving and them going and doing their thing. And then we go to this new place. We're in this new place area now where Gleeman are, everyone. Oh, excuse me. And now we're in this new POV, this new place where there's Gleeman and everyone which away and which away and way a witch. And we are introduced to Bail Doman, otherwise known as man who calls himself Boars. No, I'm just playing. But we meet him, and we're explaining that he has dark hair that hangs to his shoulders and a long beard that left his upper lip bare. Bare around his round face. We get the drop of the name Sidoro, who is the innkeeper. And then we get the name drop of Mirandians, Terrans, and Hodenmerk. And then Domon gets pulled up on by a couple of gentlemen. And then we find out that the man who calls himself Boars is actually Captain Doman. No, I'm just playing. But we find out his name is Captain Doman. And he basically gets this mission from these three dudes that just kind of pull up on him. I think, were they from Carrion? I think that says it. Did it say it right here? They were all three nondescript, but there was an air about them. No, I don't think it said where they was from. But yeah, they give him this mission to basically deliver something to another place. They're like, yo, you can coast to Maine easily, all this stuff. And then they were like, you need no names. They gave him a shit ton of money, and then they give him a seal, and they pushed it across the table, and it was big. It had a big red wax circle holding that folded the parchment shut before the mini raid rising sun of Carrion. So he's like, yo, what's going on here? What's happening? And they're like, yo, you got to sail immediately. And he's like, okay, bet, I got you. And then they tell him, and then they're like, yo, discretion keeps a man alive. And he's like, oh, yeah, of course, of course. And then he gives money to the lady, and he finds out that the coins are marked with Tarvalon. They're a Tarvalon mark. And he was like, oh, man. He's like, bro, this is not a good point. This is not good. He looks in there, and he's like, he stirred them with a callous finger, it says, and the gold marks glittered up at him in the lamp light, every one of them bearing the damning flame of Tarvalon. Dangerous coins. He would never make it to a magistrate if the White Cloaks heard about this. I mean, that's a super good point. It seems like they definitely were trying to mess bruh up. And then we're introduced to Yaren Meldin. And then we find out that some people are dead and it's going down. So he's like, yo, we need to get up out of here, get all the crew together. Man, they done ramushed your room. I'm getting hit up. We need to get up out of here. So he rushes to the ship. The entire crew is rushing to the ship as well. And he does not listen to the three men at all. He immediately goes home and he starts studying the steel. And he gets the light. He heats it up. And he tries to read it without opening it. But then he just grabs, he just grabs it. And he's like, forget this, bro. Like, I'm just gonna read it, man. I'm gonna open up this tab. I'm going to get in there. He heats up the blade, like I was kind of saying before. And then he finds out something freaking crazy.
We call upon you to seize this man and all things found in his keeping to the smallest. Our representative will come to carry away what he has stolen. In moments, the sounds of Yarp and sea, now. Spray can clear the bar, it. They had been Carrienan. He thought she could stand. They sails as soon as there do be men enough aboard to handle her. Stuffing the parchment into his coat pocket, he snatched up the bag of gold and pushed his second out the door ahead of him. Roust them, Yaren, for I'll leave any man who no makes it standing on the quay as he is. Domon gave Yaren a shove to start him running, then stalked off toward the docks. Even footpads who heard the clinking of the pouch he carried steered clear of him, for he walked now like a man going to do murder. There were already crewmen scrambling aboard Spray when he arrived, and more running barefoot down the stone quay. They did not know what he feared was pursuing him, or even that anything did pursue him, but they knew he made good profits, and after the Iliana way, he gave shares to the crew. Spray was 80 feet long, with 2 masts, and broad in the beam, with room for deck cargo as well as in the holds. Despite what Doman had told the Kyrianen, if they had been Kyrianen, he thought she could stand the open water. The Sea of Storms was quieter in the summer. "They're all aboard, but 3 I couldn't find, Captain. But I've spread the word through every tavern, hell and crib in the quarter. They'll be aboard before it's light enough to start upriver. Spray do sail now, to sea." Domon cut off Yaren's protests about light and tides and Spray not being built for the open sea. "Now. Spray can clear the bars at dead low tide. You've no forgotten how to sail by the stars, have you?" Catching the tide. Finally, he lifted the mantle of the lantern and stuck a knife into the flame. Smoke curled up as oil burned off the blade, but before the metal could turn red, he pushed charts out of the way and pressed the parchment flat on his desk, working the hot steel slowly onto the sealing wax. The top fold lifted. It was a simple document, without preamble or salutation, and it made sweat break out on his forehead. "The bearer of this is a dark friend wanted in Cairhien for murders and other foul crimes, least among them theft from our person. We call upon you to seize this man and all things found in his keeping to the smallest. Our representative will come to carry away what he has stolen from us.
So dirty.
Let all he possesses, save what we claim, go to you as reward for taking him. Let the vile miscreant himself be hanged immediately, that his shadow-spawned villainy no longer taint the light. Sealed by our hand, Galdrian Suriatin Rie, King of Cairhien, Defender of the Dragon Wall."
Like, bruh.
In thin red wax below the signature were impressed the rising sun seal of Cairhien and the 5 stars of House Riatin. "Defender of the Dragon Wall, my aged grandmother," Domon croaked. "Fine right the man to have to call himself that any longer." Men, with Tyran influence so strong. There was no war now, and men from either port came and went freely, but there was as little love for Iliana's in Tyr as, because it was too expensive or too large, he collected by seeing and remembering. For a moment he thought of putting the parchment into the lantern's flame. It was a dangerous thing to have, in Tyr or Ilian or anywhere he could imagine, but finally he tucked it carefully into a secret cubbyhole behind his desk, concealed by a panel only he knew how to open. "My possessions, eh?" He collected old things, as much as he could living on shipboard. What he could not buy, because it was too expensive or too large, he collected by seeing and remembering. All those remnants of times gone, those wonders scattered around the world, that had first pulled him aboard a ship as a boy. He had added 4 to his collection in Maradon this last trip, and it had been then that the Dark Friend pursuit began, and Trollocs too, for a time. He had heard that Whitebridge had been burned to the ground right after he sailed from there, and there had been rumours of Murdral as well as Trollocs. It was all of it together, that had first convinced him he was not imagining things, that had had him on guard when that first odd commission was offered. Too much money for a simple voyage to Tyr, and a thin tale for a reason. Digging into his chest, he set out on the desk what he had bought in Maradon. A light stick left from the Age of Legends, or so it was said. Certainly no one knew the making of them any longer. Expensive, that, and rarer than an honest magistrate. It looked like a plain glass rod, thicker than his thumb and not quite as long as his forearm, but when held in the hand it glowed as brightly as a lantern. Light sticks shattered like glass, too. He had nearly lost Spray in the fire caused by the first he had owned. A small, age-dark ivory carving of a man holding a sword. The fellow who sold it claimed if you held it long enough you started to feel warm. Domon never had, and neither had any of the crew he let hold it, but it was old, and that was enough for Domon. The skull of a cat as big as a lion, and so old it was turned to stone. But no lion had ever had fangs, almost tusks, a foot long. And a thick disc the size of a man's hand, half white and half black, a sinuous line separating the colours. The shopkeeper in Maradon had said it was from the Age of Legends, thinking he lied, but Domon had haggled only a little before paying, because he recognised what the shopkeeper did not. The ancient symbol of Aes Sedai from before the breaking of the world. Not a safe thing to have, precisely, but neither a thing to be passed up by a man with a fascination for the old. And it was Heartstone. The shopkeeper had never dared add that to what he thought were lies. No riverfront shopkeeper in Maradon could afford even one piece of Coindia. The disc felt hard and smooth in his hand, and not at all valuable except for its age, but he was afraid it was what his pursuers were after. Light sticks and ivory carvings and even bones turned to stone he had seen other times, other places. Yet even knowing what they wanted, if he did know, he still had no idea why, and he could no longer be sure who his pursuers were. Tarvalon marks and an ancient Aes Sedai symbol. He scrubbed a hand across his lips. The taste of fear lay bitter on his tongue. A knock at the door. He set the disc down and pulled an unrolled chart over what lay on his desk. "Come." Yarin entered. "We're beyond the breakwater, Captain." Domon felt a flash of surprise, then anger with himself. He should never have gotten so engrossed that he failed to feel spray lifting on the swells.
Yo, man has a seal and he doesn't even know it. Like, he has one of these seals and has no idea. So he's going to die. Like, RIP to the man Doman, because he is just sailing around with the main thing that the Dark Ones is looking for, as well as his Trollocs and as well as the Fays. Like, that's what they're looking for sure. And I think the best thing he got going for him is that he is on a boat sailing around. Like, he is on a boat sailing around. And is this bruh from the show that pulls up to Moiraine later on in season 2 and shows her the stuff? Am I tripping? Is that bruh that pulls up to her and gives her, because he sells her the Quindela, right? I'm pretty sure the man pulls up with the Quindia. Hearn is another person with a weird, unique ability like Min and Perrin. Old things come again. Yeah, that's wild. These abilities aren't part of a magic system with the one power. Like the one power is, they're more tied into the metaphysics of the wheel itself, which makes sense. Damn, I'm not gonna lie to you, yo. It just seems more and more. The more stuff I find out about the Wheel of Time, the more and more it sound like. The more and more it sounds like the stuff that the more. Wow. I guess I just forgot how to talk. Might have had a stroke just now. The more I read the Wheel of Time, the more surprised I get at how similar the stuff that I am writing is like the stuff that I'm reading. It's like I wrote this stuff way before I was on this journey of being a book like a book nerd like this, to be reading these books and stuff like that. But it's just a lot of the ideas and the execution of things. It is very similar in certain ways. So I'm excited to see what's up with that. I'm trying to remember. Do we see Domon's collection here? Yeah, we saw that collection. Bro had a flashlight. Do you recognize this? Yeah, I recognize it. Bro he got that shit on him for sure. The Quindaya. But they changed the seals to be 15 feet tall. So I guess they had to change that around for him, and instead they give him they that's how they introduced the poem that we just had the Ajamanati read, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like the poem that the Ajamanati, Illuminati, Ajamanati, yeah. Like I'm pretty sure that the Ajamanati also, no, the poem that they just read is the poem that Captain Dame Domon gives to Moiraine in the show. So it's very interesting how they kind of kept stuff the same but switched it up in a weird way. It's like, bro, Lanfear is coming. You know what I mean? Like that's what the big thing about it was, and I like that. I like the way that they introduced it there. Yep, the guy who sells the poem, but the show made up that part. That poem in the show is the dark prophecy written in the dungeon. Wait, what? What do you mean? Yeah, isn't the dark prophecy? Isn't that the thing that Lance got from Moiraine's bag that the other warders and Aes Sedai almost smacked him for? Isn't that the dark prophecy about Lanfear? All of that stuff is the same, right? All of it. I'm pretty sure all that stuff is the same. Excuse the hell out of me. Yeah, man, I love this reading. They did such a good job with it. I can't lie to you. Like, yeah, did a damn good job. Crazy how like when it comes to the book to show comparison, it's honestly insane how similar and different this is, right? Like we were just talking about a whole bunch of parts right now that are the same, but obviously not the same as well. So it's just kind of wild. It's just kind of wild how they are able to weave all of these different stories together in their own way while bridging the gaps of other storylines that we didn't really ever get to see in the same way. Like we never really get to see that. Well, at least from what I've read so far, we don't get to see the relationship between Moiraine and Swan, but it's definitely heavily implied in the book that they had some type of relationship. You know what I mean? In girlhood, you feel me? They definitely they definitely had some type of relationship going on, and the same thing with even seeing Rand being born with the Aiel fighting on Dragon Mount, like all of that was fire in the show to be able to see it. But we get it as like this one part of a vision. We get it almost as this now sealed part of a vision from this point of view instead. I'm here for it, man. I think it's dope. I honestly want to see like that happen. Like I want to hear Moiraine talk about what happened in the book, but see the events play out that were on Prime. Like that would be awesome. That would be so cool. Honestly insane. Bow. And Matt's dagger. Like, not to mention, Matt's dagger has an entire, like, it's an entire storyline. We didn't even get almost half of the story that we're getting pertaining to the Matt's dagger. Like, that shit just ended in the show. It was just like, like it was just kind of over and we didn't really worry about it anymore. The sickness was off him and Fane had the dagger. And it didn't really seem like it was, I don't know, it just didn't seem like it was that big of a deal anymore. But now we get this humongous different we get this whole different thing. You'll probably like the next section too. I'm hoping so. I'm hoping I do. The dagger story too, Electric Boogaloo, facts though. I'm just like, bro, what's happening? I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen with the soul with the dagger, and it seems like it's so important, but in the show, like it wasn't the same, and That's going to be interesting. Perrin and Matt are furious at Rand right now, and they're all like traveling together. And we didn't see that split up happening either in the show of like, oh, the dudes are going this way and then the women are going this way. Like, we didn't see that type of split up in the same way we're seeing it now. So it just is going to definitely add for a grand range of storytelling now. And it's definitely going to give us more than what we had before. And so I'm hyped, yo. For as far as the like I said, the book to show comparisons go, it's just beautiful to be able to see the same thing happen, but from that other POV. I just really like it, and I also wish we got to see things just play out this way. You know, we don't see Rand go to Tarvalon right away, and I just like that story. The way that the story builds itself in that way, I am more for it so far. But we have a lot more reading to do in this book, so it's not like I know everything that's about to happen. Nah, we got a lot more reading to do. So I'm pumped, man. I'm really pumped to get into whatever is going to happen next in the show. I think we're building up a really solid storyline. I think we've been building up a really solid foundation so far. Like I said at the beginning, what we've done up until this point is basically set up everything that's going to happen next now. And now I feel like we can move a little bit more freely and not have to hold the hand as much, even though I don't feel like my hand was being held too much in the first place. But now it's going to be like, all right, names, places, people, abilities, powers, everything is going to be rocking here. So I'm rocking with it as well. Notice the structure of this book is the reverse of book one. Instead of being hunted, they are the hunters. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's framed the entire thing differently. So I'm even interested in knowing what Lanfear is going to be doing in this, if that storyline is going to be the same. So I'm hyped. I'll give you two teases. You got more Parent coming up, and you also get a wild side story that completely wasn't in the show. What? That's lit. That's kind of what I've been waiting for. Is like a complete. I mean, we already had a complete storyline that wasn't in the show, as far as like the whole learning how to juggle and doing the whole Gleeman thing for Matt and Rand. But I definitely have been itching to see some more things that weren't in the show at all, rather than things that were just kind of switched around. Because again, everything was switched around, and it works. Don't get me wrong, it works. It's just a little bit off-putting, for lack of better words. It's definitely a tad off-putting. But with all that being said, that will bring us to an end of episode 2 of our From Watcher to Readers series. I have enjoyed my time tonight. I'm not going to lie to you. I can't wait for the next batch of reading. It's going to be so hype. I appreciate you, Mara Sue, for staying here with me from start to finish. It's early for me. It's 8:30, and I'm tired, yo. I'm ready to crunch something and take a nappy wappy. But I think I'm gonna pop a stream over here on my Twitch channel later, so that's probably what I'll be. But I had a fantastic time going through this book. It was really like, I mean, I'm talking like I'm done, but I had a fantastic time going through this portion of the book. It was awesome. The action, the surprise, the bamboozles, the reveals, all of it. It just works together so well. And I feel like this next portion is just going to continue that notion. And I'm ready to pick up the book and start reading it tonight, like for real. Let me know how you guys are feeling about the reading. If you guys are watching this on the rewatch, I definitely appreciate y'all. Y'all are all amazing. You guys rock socks for sure if you're watching it on the replay. You feel me? So you guys have a good rest of your night. I'll have a good rest of mine. Marasu, I appreciate you. Please do get on those segments and let me know. You feel me? I still got that video with the private chat that only me and you would have access to if you actually would go to it, so you ain't gotta go to no other social media platforms. You know what I'm saying? But I know you scared. I know you scared. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Uh So yeah, yo. This was a fantastic streamy weemy, if I do say so myself. I'm super tired because last night was a W stream as well. And yeah, bro, I am ready to get into it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. You know what I'm saying? So we'll be getting into a whole bunch of more stuff coming in the future. Marisu, that's for you. You know what to do. And yeah, yo, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in with me today on tonight's episode. It's been a fantastic time, a fantastic vibe. You guys rock for real, for real, for real. And everybody that's watching on the replay, I appreciate each and every one of you as well. If you haven't already, make sure you follow us on social media at Marvel Bros to stay up to date with all things Marvel and everything pop culture. And you can also check me out on social media at Sensei Finito to stay up to date with all my thoughts, theories, and opinions on whatever particular thing I may be partaking in at that particular time. And check out the weekly podcast wherever you check out podcasts at. It's all good in the neighborhood. Definitely appreciate it. I gotta save somewhere. Oh, okay, for sure. I think you can like it and it'll go in your like folder, or you can like make a playlist or something like that, and it'll go in that folder. So I'll jump on there as well so I can see which hand and in. There it is. Okay. I see you. Okay, bet. Well, like I said, I hope everybody has a fantastic rest of their day. And as I always say, stay awesome, stay nerdy, and don't forget to stay marvelous. I don't know why I did that. So,
If you guys would like to support Marvel Bros,
Sleep
all you
well
gotta
and
do is
wake.
Visit our website at www.marvelbros.com and buy some merch. Represent the superfan.
Or you can join our Patreon to get early access to content, patron-only scoops, giveaways, private Q&As, and those sacred watch parties.
We appreciate you guys. We'll catch you later.
Excelsior.
On today's pop culture news update.
On today's pop culture news update.
On today's pop culture news